it's true. It's damn true.
It's true. It's true.
And you better recognize who the hell we are. Damn.
Stay tantalizing. Stay tantalizing.
Ooh,
Stay tantalizing.
Stay tantalizing. Stay tantalizing.
Stay tantalizing, Roddy.
tantalizing.
Stay tantalizing. What?
Stay tantalizing, all right?
Stay tantalizing.
What he said. Stay tantalizing.
No need for the music. This is serious business, everybody. What's up, everybody? It's me, the Tantalizing One, with the two best co-hosts on planet Vulcan and the multiverse. We have, yes, we have Anthony Blackwell Jr. and we have Triple R, the fantasy booker, Ravish and Ricky Ramon. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and good night, gentlemen.
I'll never spread a rumor or a lie.
Okay, that's good to know. So let's get into it. It was reported earlier by this channel. I'm going to show you guys what was reported because I'm the one that reported it. Oh, look at this! The quad squad's here, and we have the
he flipped it down here.
Anthony Graves.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm doing this. Oh, sorry. Let's get serious. So, let's first put this out here. This is all over the internet. It is not true. Okay, if you've seen this anywhere, that we would decide to make an official statement, blah, 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 blah. Kenny Omega, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. They were saying that Adam Page quit. This is untrue. Now, I'm going to say this. There is no one to blame for this except me. No one should take the blame for reporting this except me. I didn't check the source. I just saw it was there. I saw the words that Adam Page quit. I looked on the internet. I looked on YouTube that nobody was reporting it, and I was my mouth salivated. I was like, oh, if I could do this is it, guys. This is my shot. This is my chance. And it was stupid of me, and it was unprofessional. Now, I know people saying, well, this is just a Yale Club channel. People depend on us to give people depend on us to give the right information. So Richie will be back. He's taking care of something. So I just want to apologize if we trolled you in any way. My fault. My bad. Anthony Blackwell. Sorry, Gray. I call you Graves.
Hey, you good.
Blackwell, what can you say about this?
All right, so this is all that's been reported, and I use Sean Ross app. That's my go-to guy.
So do I.
Everyone has their guy, right?
I'm a Patreon with him too, so I pay.
Yeah. That's my guy. That's who I use. That's who I'm most I feel is most reliable. Congratulations on Sean Ross app. Also, it just hit 10,000 Patreon subscribers.
I'm one of them.
That's a lot. It's $5 a piece. You guys do the math. Wowzer. Anyway, that's $500,000, by the way. The latest on CM Punk, Ace Steel, Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. It has been confirmed to us that Ace Steel bit Kenny Omega, CM Punk threw punches, and a chair hit Nick Jackson in the eye. However, there are conflicting views on who started it. Some we spoke with believe that Punk should have expected to be confronted after the things he said. Another person said Omega and the Young Bucks aggressively approached the locker room, and what Punk could have been constructed as a 3-on-1 attack. We're told the situation went on for about 6 minutes with Brandon Cutler and Christopher Daniels and Pat Buck trying to defuse the situation. Thus far, no one on the roster or the media we've reached out to admitted to hear anything from Tony Khan since the melee happened. We're told by another person high up in the company that we're not expected to hear much officially in the day that followed due to legal issues. Frightful has heard back from Hoffman Estates Police Department, who said Hoffman State Police Department does not have any police reports nor documentation that police were requested. During AEW All Out event, or anything that allegedly occurred backstage. The only police response in that event was regarding a family issue in the audience. Unanimously, the talent that we have spoken to have been in favor of the way that haven't been in favor of the way CM Punk handled things at that event. And even the talent typically would back Punk, either said that they would have not done or have comment to us. These are the rumors Punk sustained. There's also rumors that Punk sustained an injury during the melee. The rumor has been echoed and heard from people in the company, but we're not yet confirmed. There are several wrestlers who are not sure of their creative for Wednesday's AEW Dynamite as a result of this. Several long-term AEW stars said they don't understand how Punk couldn't be let go after this. We also spoke with Frightful Post Show about talent taking issue over the past with Hangman Adam Page for working stiff, and several readers tried to tie the two situations together. We haven't heard any connection, and we were told the last year that Arn Anderson spoke with Page and told him to lighten up. Page even then had generally liked outside of the situation and saw a couple wrestlers. Sorry, hold on a second. Even then, general liked outside of the situation, and that saw a couple wrestlers injured. We were told that there wasn't a connection to this and thought Hangman Adam Page and CM Punk got along until this spring. There has been some sympathy. Then it goes on to MJF, but essentially that's all we know. Nothing has been talked about. Nothing has been reported. That's where we're at right now. You have to realize here, this isn't wrestling anymore. This isn't work. This isn't shoot. This isn't all those terminology throw away. Adam Page is not released. No one has been released. No one has been disciplined. Nothing has been reported, because you have to realize there's a lot of legality here now. This is no longer pro wrestling. This is assault. This is assault with a weapon. This is possibly probably even higher assault charges, because there's biting and physical stuff that way. This is more than just wrestling. This is Conor McGregor throwing a dolly through a bus window. This goes to court. This is handled in a different light. And essentially AEW right now has to do checks and balances, and they need to figure out exactly how they handle this. And I have my stipulations, and I think what's going to happen. We'll get to that later. But that's essentially all we know. That's all that's going out. And now we'll talk about it more throughout the show.
Triple R. Triple R, Ricky.
Unmute your mic.
Is he breaking up? You.
He's asking for your take.
I'm asking you a take, Rick. He's having trouble hearing us. Graves, go.
Am I good?
Oh, go ahead. I think we can hear him now, right?
You hear me?
Yeah. Oh, he got booted out. Real quick, I just want to say, with the news that came out with the whole Hangman thing, I think it sucks that a lot of the media they like to release stuff that's just fake because they want more views on their story and all that and their channels. I just think it's so dumb. And as you said, Hangman's not been released. There's not been an official statement yet. On my show I did today, I said, you know what? Let's wait till Dynamite. Let's see if anything. I don't think anything's going to be addressed on Dynamite, but let's see if anything else is going to be released here with the coming stuff. Everything that we've heard so far, I mean, this sounds insane. This whole thing has really, we've heard about the rumors that have been coming up. It all stems from the CM Punk shoot interview. Everybody, all those reports that were coming out about, people not liking Punk and how the Hangman thing was a shoot, and it's all built up to this. And right now, we're at a moment here where, for me at least, I could see, is Punk going to be let go? Or is one of the original, we've already seen one of the original startups in AEW, Cody Rhodes, already jumped ship. But are we going to see somebody quit here? The big thing for me, as I'm watching this press conference and CM Punk is going off, and he's he is talking about the EVPs. He's talking about Hangman. He's talking about Colt Cabana. He called him by his real name too. Tony Khan sat next to him. And he's like this.
He tried to interject, and
yeah.
Punk put his hand on his chest and said, "I'm gonna take like, yikes."
Yeah, and I almost like I feel bad for him, but I also am like, I don't know, like
I don't feel bad. Let me cut you off.
Okay, good, yeah.
Be a man. Be a man, because let's look. Last night we had a talk, right, guys? Who controlled the conversation?
You.
Me. Shut up. Me. No, she really did. But I did. Why? Well, that's true. But seriously, never mind. So you can't be serious. You can't be serious with this group.
No. But I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
I understand what you're saying. It's just, I was gonna say, like, I kind of feel bad for him. At the same point, I don't, because I feel like you put yourself in your own situation. When stuff like this gets handled poorly, and you also have the world champion just talking all this shit, and you're just kind of sitting there not doing anything. It's like this is like it's just an insane situation.
The thing is we can all sit here in this chat, and we can all sit there, and you guys can be watching this and think to yourself, man, if it was me, listen, if you handed me that kind of money and I was able to start a wrestling company, and I hired every single person that I've been watching since I'm 11 years old, and people I've been idolizing my entire life, it's going to take a little bit to dude, I'm a year into the commentary thing. I'm a year behind the guardrail. I'm a year behind the curtain. And I still sometimes have to remind myself that, like, I'm part of this now. Like, you have to kind of change your demeanor and your attitude. And it doesn't happen overnight. Like, you develop friendships and you're like, I can't believe I'm friends with someone I've been watching on TV my whole life. I can't believe they're giving me the time of day. It happens all the time. So I understand that Tony Khan is the boss and he's this, but I think he needs to realize that I think he's allowing himself to get caught up in it. And I don't really blame him for doing it, because it's part of the deal, man. You're literally running a company with everyone you've been idolizing your entire life. It's a change, and kind of spoiling what I think we're going to get into in a minute is, I think checks and balances need to happen here. I think Tony needs to be the money guy, but I think he might need to appoint like almost like how a football team has the owner, and then you have a GM, and your GM, not just a character on TV GM. I'm not talking about someone who comes out and acts as a GM and plays one on TV like a Regal or a Sonya Deville. I'm talking about a legit company GM who handles the day-to-day, that knows how to handle this. And there's a bypass, so you can't get to the president or the owner and politic and do this, where the GM has that control. But you need to put someone in a position that can't go that route as well. It needs checks and balances.
Richie, what do you think? Not to cut you off, Anthony. I'll make sure Richie keeps his connection.
No, I got but yeah, real nice. But I agree with Anthony. Everything, with both of them. And something has to be done. There has to be some type of structure, because if you don't have no type of structure, your business is not going to succeed. It's just going to implode. And now we're seeing the inmates, I guess, running the asylum here. Punk talked about Hangman had a receipt given to him when he cut that promo. That was Hangman's receipt, and that was it. That's his receipt for his promo on Punk about Cabana, whatever. Okay, cool. Now what? Talking about him again? I thought this was over. What is the big obsession with Punk and Hangman Adam Page? And this is what it is. CM Punk feels that since he's gotten to AEW, he's an OG, right? That's how he feels. So he feels that all the young guys should go to him for advice. Apparently that's not happening. And I guess he's trying to demand that. And he must feel some type of way, because Hangman Page said, I don't take advice from the older talent. And I like to do things on my own. I respect that. The man wants to go out there. If he falls on his ass, excuse my language, he wants to do it on his own. He doesn't want no excuses. I respect that about Hangman Adam Page. Everybody doesn't need to take advice from everybody, no matter if it's a Hulk Hogan or a Rock. You're a man, and it's up to you. If you fail, then you should have maybe taken the advice. But I think if CM Punk thinks should be more important than what he really is, and I don't think everybody's getting around him the way he wants. So I think he feels like he should be more of a guy that's a mentor and looked up to in the locker room, and they might not even be looking at him like that, and he feels disrespected. There's no disrespect there in my book. Just people aren't going to you for advice. That's my take.
And that's your take, and I get it, and I get Anthony's take, and I get Graves' take, and everybody has their take, which is what they're gonna have. Everybody made great points here and a lot of things, but here's my take. First of all, Grandma Daisy, thank you for the $1 super chat, and Black Wolf, thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you both for the super chats. We will hit you with a video later, but I just want to stay on this. I always appreciate every time you guys send us something. Thank you so much. It's so much appreciated. Grandma Daisy once again. And Black Wolf, who have been supporting the channel so much lately. Thank you guys so much for that. Anthony said something I take umbrage with. He said, Blackwell, he said, you guys can sit here and say whatever you want to say and think that, you would say this and that. But yeah, listen, here's my thing. I'm the boss. If I'm the boss, bro, yeah, okay, I'm sitting next to The Rock and Stone Cold and whatever. Of course, I'm like fanboying, of course, but I'm still the man with the money. I'm the one that signs the paychecks. Tony Khan's got to get a set. He's got to get a pair. Now, and Anthony, you're right. How do you make the
But it's also like if you earned your money and you have more value to your money because you've worked for it is one thing. But if you were born into a Khan lifestyle and then your daddy gives you money, you don't have the value of that. That's a scribble on a piece of paper. There's no value there. You know what I mean? Like if you walked up and said, "Man, I raised $15,000. I'm gonna run a show this weekend." You better believe you're going to make sure you're going to stress about that show. Where if you're running a show on the weekend and that money is just a scribble on a piece of paper, no big deal. I'm just a fan doing my thing. There's two different mind states going into that.
By the way, happy birthday to Brandon Duquette today. Brandon Duquette's birthday's today.
Happy birthday, brother.
Shout out to Brandon Duquette.
Happy birthday, Brandon.
No, and listen, Anthony, you're right. So let's catch people up. So, Syndrome, in case you missed what was going on earlier in the day, this channel reported that Adam Page was leaving the company, that there was an email sent out. I'm the one that posted it. Everybody already knows who sent it. He's putting it in the chat. I'm not blaming anybody because everything goes through me. And here's what I'm talking about: having balls and having the gravitas and having the testicular fortitude to say who's in charge here. I made the decision to put up on the page this right here. It was me. It was not true. It was my fault because I didn't fact check it. And sorry, Rick. My bad. I didn't fact check it, and because I was so thirsty to get some news before anybody else to maybe think, hey, look, this could be my viral moment. I did the same thing that Anthony said. Hey, all these guys are trolling because they want to be the first. And I was one of those guys because I wanted to be the first person to get up here because I want this channel to succeed so much that it consumed me to get this up. So the buck stops here. It doesn't matter who sent it to me. It doesn't matter who sent it to them. My name is on this channel. It says Tantalizing Tony. And if you guys don't think I love myself and believe in my name, so it goes.
I thought you named it after me and Graves as well.
So my point is this: you can never be serious in this room. So my point is this: is that us as a channel, we're not the most. We're not Sean Ross Sapp. We're not WrestleHolic or whatever it's called. We're not Wrestle Talk. We're not there. We're not even close to being there. We're not even in the ballpark of being there. But one thing I won't do, I will never ever purposely lie to you guys. What the hell? I'll never purposely lie to you guys and give you false information because then it makes us all look bad. And the last thing I want to do is make these three guys look bad because they have their own things going too. Kevin Owens is about to win the WWE title. Graves is about to take over Howard Stern's channel, and Ravage Ricky Ramone is finally going to kidnap Von Wagner. So there are things, guys, that I want to make sure that doesn't make this channel look bad. That being said, the topic today is this.
Real quick, too, just before we switch off to that.
Sure.
The big thing is here, too, is even if, like, we're not saying we are those people, but are we trying to eventually get to that point? Sure. That'd be great. That's the channel's goal, right, is to grow and to figure things out. But on the same token is a lot of what we're getting in the back of the locker room of AEW. I mean, if you want to talk about who's to blame, and this can be the segue into that, is it Hangman's fault? Is it Punk's fault? Is it the EVP's fault? Is it bad leaking fault? Or is it the wrestling media's fault for putting stuff out there and getting people stirred up? And that's kind of where we don't want to be. You know what I mean? Like
we are the media too. We're social media.
We are, but we also come from a standpoint of we say, this is what's reported. Here's our take on what's being reported. Take it for what you will. We're not saying this is gospel. We're not saying we are your one-stop shop for all wrestling news. You're coming to us for our takes on what's happening in professional wrestling. It would be cool if we get to a level where we could be the ones to break stuff, sure. But at the end of the day, we're an opinion-based show. This is exactly what we do here. We tell you our opinions, and the reason we have a 4-person panel is because we all have different takes on said opinions, and we can talk and disagree and argue with each other, but still stay cool on those differences of opinions. So at any point, we will never sit there and say that we are the end-all be-all, that what we're saying is correct, but we do take pride in not putting out false information as well. Sometimes Ricky gets a little crazy.
Ricky gets batshit crazy. And let's he said segue. Let's segue into this. So let's start at the top, okay? And we're gonna do it like this, guys. I got a couple of photos up of people that I believe that are to blame, and I want to say one thing. Anthony did say the media, but the media is corrupt because the media wants the story. Because
but I'm saying we don't have to be a catalyst to be another stoke in the fire. Where we're coming from is a different angle.
And right. And I love Stephen Chambers. One day Liza will be the media scrum, ask questions. Nah, I don't want to rub elbows with those guys. I don't. You know why? Because I don't want to tank this channel. You know, if somebody wants to come on this channel and talk to me, they can come talk to me. I'm not gonna go to the media scrum like, hey, CM Punk, remember that time you took the belt and put it in your fridge? You know?
Here's what's interesting. How many people listen to Sean Ross Sapp's podcast?
I do.
You? I think when it comes to a podcasting world, I don't think he's a major point in what people want to listen to.
He's not.
And this is not a knock to Sean Ross Sapp, because we just said he just hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'm sure he has more than just one tier. But he made just say he only had one tier at $5 a piece. He has 10,000 people that just subscribed and growing. That's $500,000. That's support on just his leagues alone. How many people say, Sean Ross Sapp's take on this is really crazy? How many people say Jim Cornette's take on something is crazy? People's opinions weigh more on sometimes leaked information. And what I'm saying here is $5 to you is nothing, but $5 from 1,000 people, $5 from 20,000 people, that's when you start establishing yourself as a key player. But I've never seen anyone on the internet say, what is Dave Meltzer's take? I mean, kind of, because he has a star system and people like that. But that's what I'm saying is I think more people gravitate to the opinions of people's take on wrestling, and then they separate this is opinion and this is leaked information. And even Sean Ross Sapp is amazing at leaked information, but I don't think he's up there when it comes to content creating and his podcast. Like I personally don't listen to it. I know some people do, but I don't think he's like the top of the food chain on a lot of his takes. Dave is opinion, but Dave also leaks. I would say Dave is probably the top of the mountain when it comes to his takes and his listenership. And listen, and at the end of the day, you don't need 1 million subscribers to be considered successful. You have 2,000 people listening to every podcast you put out or every piece of content you put out, and out of those 2,000, maybe 800 donate $10 a piece. That's a successful channel. That's a living.
Facts, guys. If you like what's going on, you like the conversation, number one, hit the likes. There's a lot of questions in the chat. It's hard to get to everybody because you guys are active today. You guys are
love it.
This is great. I know we say this a lot, guys, but I mean this, man, from the bottom of my heart. This means a lot to me. My dog just farted.
He said, "Cut this shit, Tony."
My dog just farted right there. But you guys mean a lot to me. Just to take your time to come into the channel and say hi. It's crazy. Hit the like, guys. People are starting to come in. We're gonna get the questions rolling soon. But let's get to the first person who I believe is the whole problem. So I'm gonna go first, and we'll go down the line. If for some reason Richie backs. In fact, let's let Richie go first.
Yeah, you get Richie out of the way first. Yeah.
Richie.
You would think that's an appreciation for me. No, just in case I don't have a good connection, guys. Don't get too excited.
Well, Rich, wait. Rick, here's the thing. Honest to God, yeah. I like your take on things because it's a little out there on certain things. And then you go into the, well, maybe he didn't. He's thinking this. I like that you try to. No, I like that you try to.
I know.
It's gonna end with like, eventually, what's gonna happen is WWE is gonna merge with him.
But that's fine though, because that's his take, and he gives that different, that different view. So
I blame this guy, and the reason I blame this guy among other people, but this is the number one guy on my list, is because this is his company. At the end of the day, he is the boss, and you have to nip these things in the butt before they become public and horrible, and it makes your company look horrible. I mean, we all know Shane McMahon is going to end up buying AEW. So no, just cut that out. But no, I blame this guy because, like I said, he's the owner of the company. This is the number one dude, and he's supposed to control this situation. This should never have gotten out of control like this. And no matter what Punk said, Punk did, the Elite, anybody, I'm not saying they're right for anything that happened, the fighting backstage, the disrespect on the mic. I'm not excusing any of it. But at the root of it all, if Tony Khan would have sat down with these dudes in the locker room and said, listen, this is what we're going to do. You guys want to fight? Fight. You guys want to talk it out? Talk it out. Once everything happens in this room, it's a clean slate out of that door, and don't bring this shit to my company anymore, or you're all gone. And that's it. But Tony Khan is not that type of man. Tony Khan is the guy that's walking by the mall, and he says, oh, those are some nice oranges you're selling there.
I got breaking news.
I'll take some, and let's go with the breaking news. Go.
All right, Fightful has learned about the fight that went down in AEW All Out, being told from people close to the situation, Ace Steel and CM Punk side of things. Per CM Punk and Ace Steel side of things. After the scrum, the Young Bucks approached Punk's locker room, and Punk wasn't answering the door after had been in a long match, bloodied, and was finished with all the emotional scrum. The Bucks said they have pounded on the door, which claims they have kicked down the door. Ace Steel was in front of the room, and which Ace Steel had told people to, Steel had told people set him off and made things go ballistic, throwing chairs and end up biting someone. The claim was made from him, and he was looking out for his wife above anything else. Ace Steel was in the from what we heard, Omega didn't seem nearly as upset initially, but things got out of hand, and he ended up being bitten. And we're told that the fight was a very long altercation, and that it was back and forth and did not stop after the brawl. There was rumors that CM Punk had injured his triceps during the fight. However, near to him say that that happened during a dive, and many noticed it during the All Out main event. I could have seen like he was icing it after during the scrum. We have been told severity. Punk was hurt, and it was going into the backstage fight. So he maybe got hurt and maybe made it worse. We need to point out that this is what we heard on one side of the story and haven't heard much of this point. If the rumors are running rampant that Steel and Punk are both done with AEW, but very close to them said they haven't been informed as of that just of yet. Virtually all of the AEW roster has spoken and believe that Punk and Steel aren't let go. Heavy amends will need to be made. If you have any questions or rumors, then you can clarify, drop a comment below. So once again, all rumors, but that's their side of the story, that the Elite essentially came into their locker room, and Steel essentially had his wife in there and family and all that stuff, and he's seen two people bust in, and he acted accordingly. And now they're saying that maybe Punk and Ace Steel are on the chopping block, which, spoiler alert, that's kind of where I was leading going into this as well. Go ahead, back to your take, Richie.
That changes the ball game a lot, but yeah, that's basically my point of who's to blame, Tony Khan. But that breaking news is we spoke about this, earlier, Anthony, and you told me that you feel like this would be the outcome of this, besides other things.
Yeah,
I'll let you get into it.
My take, my personal take is I think the Bucks, Kenny, and Bucks and Kenny lose their EVP statuses. I think they're gone. I think they lose their EVP statuses, and I think they get suspended and probably stripped of the trios titles. I think that there's more checks and balances added to the company, and I think Steel and Punk are going to be let go after this. And people think, well, they have to buy his contract out. When you hit somebody in the face with a chair during a fight, I think that's enough to be terms of grounds of terms of termination for a contract. They're like, hey, we won't press charges and we won't take this into actual court and litigation. Just walk away. Here's a little bit of, and you should probably just go away. And we're going to strip you of your title, which is a shame because the entire thing has led up to a really cool rivalry, a culmination between Punk and MJF. But maybe that's the real loss there when it comes to wrestling storyline. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Graves.
Well, as far as who's to blame, I think it's a combination of everybody.
What's your take on Khan? Where do you think Khan lies on these blame?
Yeah,
sorry,
I think.
No, you're fine, bro. We can talk to each other, bro. I don't give a shit.
I think Khan has the biggest influence on the problem. And why I explain that is because the thing about it is, like you kind of mentioned before, Tony Khan has been a fan of pro wrestling for so long, and now he's like the boss, and he's still kind of in like a fanboy phase. But for me, at least, we're running a wrestling company. And to be honest, over the past summer of AEW, I think the booking has kind of gone hill from how the first year was and the second year was. And I feel like AEW as a whole has kind of been going off the rails. And I don't, at the end of the day, when, people say, with WWE, how it used to be, at the end of the day, when an idea was finalized, it was Vince that went with it. So Vince takes the blame. At least from my perspective, I feel like a lot of this relies on Tony Khan. And I definitely think there should be somebody in place, like a GM, like you said, that is there to control things, to at least help out, kind of like how JR was a little bit, with the whole thing with Steve and Vince McMahon. Even though, there wasn't a fight or anything, they still had a lot of heat against each other and all that. And all of this is just reached like a breaking point. It reached like the climax, and it's crazy that we're even last year, CM Punk made his return to wrestling, and now we could be talking about his exit.
Forever.
Yeah.
And great takes, 23 of you. Let me give you my take on Tony Khan. So I think there are a lot of people to blame. I think there's a lot. But at the end of the day, okay, they planned this for years prior to AEW opening. He's got the money. We know this. This guy's a multi-billionaire. He owns the Jaguars, owns a soccer team. He's got the money. So the money is not an issue. Making money was not his plan, because what's $1 million to this guy? It's really nothing. What he wanted a wrestling company that was competitive to WWE, where he could, be in that Vincent McMahon role, be in charge, and have fun doing it. The problem is, he didn't realize how much work was going to be. He didn't realize how much egos were going to be in the building. And what he didn't know how to do is, he's not a good businessman, because here's the problem. You cannot put a wrestler who is in the main event picture to book. That's where all your problems lie. I'm going to be champion. I want to be tag team champion. I want to be trios champion. So at what point in time?
Dusty and Ric Flair.
Right. At what point? But that's 2 guys. This is 6.
I mean, Dusty was a booker who put himself on top a lot of times.
Oh, he did. But you know what? The difference with him is that when it was time to do the right thing, he did the right thing. These guys make it all about them. Then you bring in a guy who has had problems over the course of the last 10 years. Now, When he was in Ring of Honor, he wasn't like this. But WWE, he made himself. And a lot of things that people don't realize. CM Punk was great on an independent scene and great in Ring of Honor, but WWE made CM Punk a household name of who he was. If you think that's not true, you're batshit crazy. I'm not saying he wasn't a good wrestler. I'm not saying he wasn't good on the mic. But without that pipe bomb moment and whatever Vince and Cena and Rock and whoever else, The Shield, did for CM Punk, it was there. He used that to catapult himself to do other things. His comic book, his UFC career. He lived off that until he could live off anymore. And then he came back. But he came back with the same mindset that he had as when he left. 7 years later, the shit ain't the same. Wrestling ain't the same. The business ain't the same. And even more is that you're not in WWE, Punk. You're in AEW, an upstart company that, yes, they have great wrestlers. They have great things, but great events, but the psychology is not great. The matches might be great. These guys are killing themselves every week. Every week's a WrestleMania for them. How Billy Gunn even said it. How do you even plan to have a career if you're having a banger 5-star match every week? You got nothing to build up to. There is no WrestleMania for you because WrestleMania was Dynamite. WrestleMania was Rampage. And that goes back to what I'm saying to Tony Khan. Tony Khan did not have the business acumen to put these guys in check. Punk, you're the money man right now, but I'm the boss. How are you at the media scrum and your name is Tony freaking Khan and you're a billionaire and some rinky-dink half-baked jabroni puts his hand in your chest? Oh, I got this, Tony. As you eat your cupcakes from the bakery and Tony goes, it's my fault. I should have said no comment. No, Tony Khan. You got a lot of money, but you got no heart and you got no balls. I said it.
And I'm just gonna comment on Mick Thompson. He says I disagree. He was popular in Ring of Honor. Yes, he's talking about Punk. But if you didn't know Mick and if you don't know about the politics, he was also disliked in the Ring of Honor locker room as well.
Here's the thing. I will give CM Punk his roses right now in one aspect. CM Punk did one thing for professional wrestling, and he essentially made the blueprint of where we are right now in professional wrestling. He got to the main roster. He got to WWE. And even before, he was the first guy to really say, hey, this is where I came from. This is why people are clamoring for me. Because he did have a fan base that followed him from the independent scene and made him more valuable when he hit WWE. He had that backing. He had that following. He had that people who went out of their way to support him. And it was so strong, it was to the point where WWE had to push him as well. And then he did the pipe bomb. And he said in the pipe bomb, he said, hey, man, this isn't the end for me. I can leave this company tomorrow. And he essentially told the next generation of what they can do in professional wrestling and not have to rely on WWE and essentially show value in yourself, show value in the company you work for. Your company you work for shouldn't be the stepping stone to get to WWE. Make your company that you're at the valuable spot where you are. And the companies need to value that talent as well. So essentially, he made a blueprint and then left and didn't follow it. There's a guy who did follow that blueprint, and that's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes followed that blueprint. He left the company. He went to Japan. He went to ROH. He found a support system in the Elite, and together they formed what was now AEW. And Tony Khan essentially, he had the money, but this is the Elite's vision, and they wanted to do something different for professional wrestling. And the second Tony Khan turned around and said, "Hey, we're going to bring this CM Punk guy in," it wasn't well received by the locker room. They're like, "We don't need him." Like, if this guy wanted to do something 7 years ago, he should have did it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Sorry, something else just popped up, but it's weird that I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Hey, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Right now, we got 53 people watching, so people are dragging in. They want to hear our take, which we really appreciate, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the like, share, guys. We're one of the newest wrestling channels out there. Only been going on about 16 months. We're 4,470 subscribers. We're trying to get to 5,000. Help us get there. Share the channel. Like it, guys. This is one of the best panels we have right now. We have Anthony Blackwell Jr. We've got Anthony Graves. We got Triple R, Ravishing Ricky Ramon, Kira's coming down in a minute. We got Big Bucks Bobby. Listen, It's great. Galatian BTH, controversy creates cash. Triple C, Galatian BTH, you are correct.
So that's where I was gonna go next with this. Is
Well,
that
go. Keep going.
yeah?
Go.
If Tony Khan can pull without doing a knee jerk reaction, and he can get people in the locker room, and he can turn around and say, "Let's sit down and figure this out." If they can get it in the ring and people can put their egos aside, there's so much to benefit money-wise from this right now. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, Macho Man Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, they were all legit real beefs that got into the ring and got the job done, but not to the extent of social media in 2022. This could be a historic and legendary fix if they get it done right. And stop leaking to the media. Let all of us think that this is awful. Let all of us think that this is bad. Let all of us think that this is not clean and fixed. And MJF, you don't even need a title involved at this point. MJF beats Punk, and maybe he gets beat because the Elite reforms Hangman's with the Elite, and they cost CM Punk the world title, and we get Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk, or we get Kenny Omega versus CM Punk, and you get the match in the ring. People are gonna watch it. The problem is, are they willing to put their egos aside to make it happen?
And wow, what a great point. And thanks for all the comments in the chat. I see some new people here. Please subscribe. The egos is the problem. Look, guys, this is a Rinky Dink Wrestling channel. This is the Tantalizer Tony Wrestling channel. It's Rinky Dink. And there's an ego here. I'm the biggest ego in the room. But I'll tell you something right now. I tell you one thing.
Hangman did not leave, Noah.
No, he did not leave. I tell you one thing I know for a fact. I know when to step back and let Anthony Blackwell talk, because he's got a better take and he can articulate it better than I can. So sometimes you have to put your ego, leave your ego at the door, and let the people who have a better take on something or a better vision, and let them go with it. Another perfect point Anthony made. Do you realize what they could do with this work shoot? They could make this the biggest thing ever. They could make an entire storyline around this. Exactly what Anthony said. Ricky could fantasy book this right now. But the problem is this. These guys have egos. I don't get it. They're all millionaires. These guys are all millionaires. So what is the freaking problem? They're all getting paid. Tony Khan's pockets are deep. He's going to give them whatever he wants. So what's the big deal? You have to be the champion. You got to be on top. I got to hold this big gold belt. I want to be able to go cash the check. I'm tired of using EBT. Graves, go.
I think the big issue with a lot of this is, and this is kind of going back to what Blackwell said too, but I feel like, the Elite came in and they came in, or met up with Tony Khan, and they formed AEW all together, and it felt like the independent scene was now more mainstream, and we were taking what people loved about the independent scene and we were putting it on center stage. And when Tony Khan brought in CM Punk has his own vision of what professional wrestling is. Now, some of it may be similar, but you mentioned the difference. Punk was in Ring of Honor in 2003, 4, and 5, even a little bit TNA. The Young Bucks, and Omega, and even Cody, they were in Ring of Honor in 2015, 2016, New Japan too. The landscape of wrestling has changed since then, and I think what we've seen in WWE with CM Punk having such a big ego is being seen here in AEW as well. And I honestly think, after watching that press conference, CM Punk believes he is the top babyface in the company. And CM Punk probably thinks, he's the one that has put this company on his back. And while some of it could be true with finances, CM Punk, I would say, is still a draw to the company. But Omega, the Bucks, and Cody risked everything. They risked having the opportunity in WWE to form this company. This is almost their life here. Whether they're rich or not, this is what they've built, their blood, sweat, and tears. So this is why I think the animosity stems from, Punk and Hangman having this thing. Hangman's their boy. Hangman is somebody that they were around the business with when, they were doing the whole Bullet Club, So I think, there is, yes, it's so much egos because these guys are making so much money, but we know that Omega and Omega and the Bucks sometimes, I seen the comments online that people say that the Bucks, kind of are they win too much and all that. But I genuinely think that Omega and the Bucks, they love pro wrestling and they want to see it grow. And from what I see, I'm what I think about it is that they see through CM Punk and they see that CM Punk just wants to be the top guy, like how he wanted to be in WWE, but nobody wants to kiss his ass. Sorry
I
if
will
I
say,
cursed. Sorry.
no, so I will say this. I think that part of CM Punk's press conference was kayfabe. Just putting it out there. And the reason I say this is I think the idea of those press conferences are to be kayfabe. He went off the rails a little bit there. They tried to steer it back with MJF talk, and that's when CM Punk's like, I got to keep working with pricks. I don't think he legit thinks MJF is a prick.
Yeah.
I think that's part of him now saying I don't like I think that's when he switched gears and him saying I put the company on my back and I'm the best person here. I think that's him sliding back into that kayfabe role where essentially he's because everything that CM Punk and MJF were going to build to is who put the company on their back, who really is the pillar here, who really is the draw. And they essentially did that even before all that because MJF was being cheered in Chicago. You know what I mean? Like so I think that second half of the promo, I wouldn't take as CM Punk being egotistical. I would almost see that as kayfabe. But that I could be wrong with that. But yeah, I'm trying to think of something to say here while Tony is segueing.
I'll give a quick take on
Okay.
Punk.
Give me some news. Give me a second. You guys go.
I'll give my quick take on Punk.
Take care of Super Chat.
Black Wolf with the $5. In all honesty, CM Punk was justified for how he feel and maybe pissed off of Moxley. He beat Punk in under 3 minutes, and you can't beat him in a standard match. Yeah, I think that whole 3-minute squash match was a horrible booking call. And some people said that was possibly Mox that made that booking call, and they had to figure. Listen, dude, I've been backstage and seen people put together matches. And sometimes people go back there and say, that doesn't work for me, brother. And then instead of causing controversy and fights and people swinging on each other, they just find a way to get it done. And that's exactly what that match seemed like. All right, I'll hurt my foot. You hit me with your hit me, not with one finisher, but two, because I need to look strong. And then I'll come back and beat you in a couple weeks of the pay-per-view. That's what that seemed like to me. Yes, and everyone's popping over my screen name, which is not Kevin Owens. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Black Wolf. And who else sent me something? It was Grandma Daisy.
Grandma, yeah.
That's Black Wolf's second super chat to this stream.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, guys. We're still gonna make some more things, but everybody loves the Mikey Scarface one, so we're gonna put it up there.
Oh my god,
people love it.
Can we ask them if they're cool with holding off on the video until later on, so we can keep the momentum going?
You know what? See. And that's why we got Blackwell. Because guess what? As soon as you said that, 3 more people joined. We're up to 58. So we'll hold off on the video. Because every time you get a super chat, you get a video, we'll do it later. Hit those likes, guys. Hit those likes. So we talked about Anthony. Keep me on point. I'm kind of pissed off at you that you're doing your job. So we talked about CM Punk. How much is he to blame?
Sure. I mean, I think everyone has an equal take, but I would agree with you with the start of the show is that I think it all lies on Tony Khan. It's not hard to find a mole. I can't imagine it being it could be even easier when you do WWE. If I felt I had distrust with you three in this chat, I would tell you this is just what I've done personally. I would tell you all 3 different stories and see which one I get back first. If I tell Graves, my mom died, and then I tell Ricky that I just won the lottery, and then I tell Tony that I'm gonna punch John in the face. I wait for which story comes back to me from somebody else first, and then I say, well, there's my mole. It's not a hard thing to figure out. You play people. It's psychology. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to find people out on their nonsense. You just got to put feelers out. You know what I mean? They can squash this drama where people are leaking and things are problems. Very, very simple. And you have to be smart about it, you know? Yeah, I think CM Punk is definitely at fault, but I can't say I don't disagree with the way CM Punk handled at that press conference because He felt like he was backed into a corner. He felt like everybody was beaten to the punch, and they were doing the 2022 thing of going to the dirt sheets and making him look bad, and then bringing up a really sore topic for him, and that's him and the Colt Cabana thing. And he got sick of it, and he's tired of it, and he's frustrated, and he's annoyed, and nothing's getting done. So he took it in his own hands and went off on a press conference. He went off on a press conference. He didn't do it on national television. So at some point in time, he did know exactly where to do it and where he couldn't do it.
And I definitely agree with that. When I was watching the press conference, I actually I really enjoyed him talking because he was just, going off. I thought, it was kind of funny at first, and then I'm watching it and I'm going, man, this does not seem like something that, is, a part of an act or something. This is legit. This is serious because, from when he was talking about Colt Cabana and bringing up all the stuff about him, you could tell this is real life stuff here. This is stuff that he doesn't want to talk about, and to be honest, he shouldn't have to talk about. And when you, like you said, when you feel backed against a corner basically, and you feel like the EVPs are against you, and you feel like all these people are against you, you're gonna speak up, you're gonna say something. And he did this on a big stage. And unfortunately, the big thing about All Out was supposed to be CM Punk versus MJF being the next thing. It's about CM Punk almost versus the company, CM Punk versus the Elite. So, this is what it's turned into.
Yeah. I will say just from personal experience, I'm personally going through something like that, not as much anymore as I was, but I was going through that recently on a smaller scale, where I had two or three people who were pitting people against me and saying crazy shit. And I let it go, and then I got tired of it, and I spoke up, and I started calling people out and showing receipts and doing everything I had to do. And I feel ugly doing it because it starts drama, and it gets people picking sides and pitting people against each other, and that's not what I wanted either. But I got to that point of fuck it, you know what I mean? At some point as a man, and I'm not trying to make this a male dominant thing, but as a man, you stand up for yourself. You can only let people talk crazy so much, even behind closed doors. Listen, I know people all the time talk about me. It's part of the game. You ain't doing something right if you ain't getting talked about. But at some point, if you keep coming to my face and shaking my hand and telling me you love me, but I know you're saying stuff behind my back, I'm gonna pull your card. And I'm very good, you know what I mean? And that's essentially what Punk did. He's like, I'm tired of this, and here's my plan. Here's my chance, but it's not on an crazy unprofessional level. They're leaking stuff to the media. They're going to the media. They're going to the dirt sheets, and they're doing it by secret. This isn't secret. Dave Meltzer's right there. This guy, Brian Alvarez, is right there. Izzy's right there. I'm going to call everyone out for not coming to me with the dirt sheet information and asking me about my side of the spectrum. I'm going to say it right to your face on a camera on a post fight that only a handful of marks are going to watch anyway. But now it's obviously huge news. But I probably would have handled it the same way if I was CM Punk. I have all the dirt sheet people right in front of my face, all the ones who could have reached out to me and asked me for my opinion on the take. But you took one side of the story and you ran with it. And now here's my chance to say it to your face.
Yeah, hey, listen, I get where you're coming from, and I agree 90%. I just think CM Punk's a douchebag. But go ahead, Richie.
History is not on his side.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I agree with the both takes. It's Punk. It's all about Punk. It's all about the things he wants. If he doesn't like something, he's definitely emotional about this Colt Cabana thing. Jesus Christ, did he deny you?
Best friends, man.
Best friend and a lot of money. Did he take his girlfriend? I mean, come on. I mean, seriously, we're drop it already, bro. I understand people are asking you, but as a professional in the media, and I understand you get aggravated about it, and you could address it a different way where it's a little cleaner and a little more, professional, as they say. But this guy just wants to do what he wants. He wants to say what he wants. He wants to try to get people away from him. He wants to get people out of a company. And he said it at the press conference. I think a lot of people overlooked what he said there. I think this was before he not shoved Tony Khan, but he, gave him the hand. He said, CM Punk said this, I'm trying to run a business here. So basically what he's saying is that Tony Khan, yeah, you're the puppet. You got the money, but I'm going to run this. Let me and the older guys run this. And I think that's the perception with a lot of people of why they go to AEW. And I say that is because we talked about Tony Khan, and I'm going to bring him up in this instance because I feel like a lot of these older wrestlers feel like, man, he ain't no Vince McMahon. He's a pushover. So he loves us. So we know we can go in there and just do whatever the hell it is that we want, and we ain't got to worry about it. We'll get the payday. And if he doesn't like it, we can threaten to walk out, and he's not going to let us walk out. And I think that's the perception of CM Punk's mind here. And in all honesty, I think if CM Punk was to leave AEW, whether he got fired or he just left, I don't think it really matters. Maybe money-wise it does, with some of the gate, but the AEW does not have the same feel that it had a couple of years ago. It doesn't have that wholesome feel where I'm excited to watch AEW. It's going to be some great action. We're interested. Now we're interested for all the wrong reasons because of a bunch of gossip. So I think the core of AEW is gone, and I think it's more of a media-fed company now more than ever before, and it's really, to me, going in a negative direction. And that's my feeling on that part of the story right now.
We got the producer here real quick, and as you guys know, she produces those shows. She's been doing stuff all day, her college work, but I want to get her take real quick. So we already talked about Tony Khan and his responsibility with this whole thing, but what's your take with CM Punk? Because I really want to know what you think about this dude right here and how much culpability he has of this whole thing that has blown up. These guys are fighting backstage like it's a UFC.
So I had the show. I took over the show earlier today.
Not to mention, I'm sorry to cut you off, but also we also talked about the news that we reported that was not right. It was false. So I apologize already, just so you know.
So I already talked about CM Punk and how I felt about him earlier, but for the clip notes, I basically think that all of this is immature and embarrassing because I brought up the fact that I'm one of those fans that just watch what they put out, just watch like what they put out on TV or what they put out on YouTube. I'm like not digging into all of the backstage stuff. So if I'm watching this and they're bringing up personal stuff in their promos, I'm going to think that it's part of the storyline. What CM Punk did at the media scrum was just completely out of the ordinary. It wasn't even, I can see they don't do media scrums in kayfabe, I don't think. But even if that's the case, you just came back from a match at All Out. And even if someone asks you about Colt Cabana, I don't think you should have done all of that because it's still a professional setting. And I think that was unprofessional and embarrassing.
Now, Anthony, this is a kid's take, 18-year-old, a young lady. She's 18. That's her take. Now, this is my thing about where different fans have different perspectives at what age you are. Now, supposing you're a fan of CM Punk as a kid, you don't know the pipe bomb moment. You were freaking how old? 7 when it happened. So you like him now, and now you got to see him on the thing, and he's cursing up a storm. F this guy. This guy's a piece of S, and this guy can kiss my A. See that? I didn't curse. See that? I did that? All right, that's for you, kid. And shout out to Jenny B in the building.
Heck in a cell.
Heck in a cell. But that's what I'm saying. No. Put him in timeout. Joking. No, don't do that. But this is my issue, is that this guy's the world champion.
Oh yeah, he's the world champion. And I don't know a lot about the history of like wrestlers and whatnot, so I don't even know who Colt Cabana is. And that's on me being like a younger fan.
But that's the thing. Aren't you trying to get the younger fans to watch? Don't you want her generation to watch? So that in 70 years, wait. This is important. You want her generation to watch? So in 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, when she gets married and has a kid, that they watch the product too? Get what I'm saying there? Get how you got that? You got it, Rich.
I'm just piggybacking off what Kira said. Basically, the type of fan that Kira is, there's a lot of fans like that. So a lot of fans are going to think, who the hell is Colt Cabana? Yeah. Who?
Scott Colton.
Is he in WWE? Who is this guy? You lose interest because it's like, why am I talking about this guy. But look, give me 2 minutes. I'm making a call. I will be right back.
Yeah, it's essentially a lose-lose for CM Punk. Do you stay quiet and let the internet fans, the smart fans, bury your name and keep going and work in a hostile environment and feel uncomfortable being there because everybody's out to get you, or do you get to a breaking point where you get he's not going to do it on TV like he did the pipe bomb, but he's going to do it for real in a post in a scrum where all, like I said, all the media guys are there. Like I said, I agree 100% with everyone's take on it, but it's just like I can't say I wouldn't do the same if I felt like my name was being defamed, and especially when it came to things I dealt with legally and things I thought I put behind me, and it's all coming back and being thrown in my face again.
And
Like, it's not easy.
and that's that was one thing we talked about on this show before, because I remember we were talking about CM Punk and we were talking about people burying CM Punk and all that, and it is like we said, he was put basically in a position where there was not a lot of people in favor for him. He's put in a position where he has a big ego, all this and that, and it's like, what do you do at that point? Do you not say anything and just let fans think you're a douchebag, or do you actually stand up for yourself? And either way, I guess you could say like, oh well, it makes him look as low as Hangman does if he made comments about Hangman in a promo, which I understand that take too. But at the same point, I mean, you got to know that the one thing I will say is that when everybody posts something online, everyone sees it. Like, if I remember hearing I when I met the Hardys back, I forget when it was. It was at Icons though, and it was something. Me and my friends were talking, and basically, Matt Hardy like viewed a lot of our stories. There's a lot of people that don't realize how important social media is, and I
Mhm.
bet you that Punk, it may not look like he's on there all the time posting stuff, but I bet you he sees all these reports. And I bet you he's reading
I've
them too.
talked to wrestlers who said I see almost all those negative because the algorithms, man, the negative
Yeah.
ones get the most attention. And I've seen a lot of professional wrestlers who said I've seen what people said about me online, and it sucks. And you handle it either two ways. You delete yourself from social media, and you don't you lose that way of connecting with your fans, or you just take it and keep burying it, and eventually you explode, or you lose your head, or you get depressed. I think a lot of people saying here that this is just a bunch of they're all being babies. Dude, people are like, everyone's kind of, their characters being attacked. If you have people in your life who you thought were your best friends or your family or stuff like that, or you spent a fraction of what you spent on the road with people like this, and you feel like you were close, and people are coming at you for who you are as a person, and they're getting complete strangers to say you're a piece of garbage. There's only so much of that you're going to take before you stand up for yourself. And that's and listen, I'm not saying CM Punk is the only one at fault here. I think maybe it's the other. I'm playing devil's advocate. If that's the case, and Hangman and the Bucks and all thought that Colt Cabana was being fired because CM Punk is politicking, because that's been a rumor too for a while, that CM Punk's in Tony Khan's office all the time. He's not really going out and interacting with the fans. He's not really going out and interacting with the locker room. He just kind of stays to himself and only hangs out and talks to Tony because that's the guy signing his checks. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of distrust. Like I said, and this can all be fixed if everyone's going to Tony Khan. And regardless, in any situation, once again, I'll use this podcast for example. If all of us hate one person on the team, or I'm not liking Graves and I'm going to Tony, and Richie's like, I don't like Graves, and goes to Tony, and you're sitting there saying, you obviously feel the burn between us two, and you don't think you're being treated properly, you're being treated just, and you're about to walk away. That's up to Tony as the boss now, because he's hearing both sides of the spectrum, to sit everyone down as adults and hash it out and figure out what's going on and fix it, instead of keep feeding the fire. And I think that's essentially what it got to, and that's where it wasn't handled properly.
I agree with the whole internet thing. Like, the internet's a big place, and everything can get spread around. But I feel like that was, if he wanted to address this situation, doing it in a media scrum just was not the place to do it. He could have made a video and posted it on his social media, on his personal social media, because that media scrum is a professional place. And and whoever asked about his personal drama after an AEW pay-per-view should have been declined his question and should have moved on to the next one. It went way out of line.
Yeah, that's where Tony Khan should have declined it and moved on. But what I kind of said before you got here, Kara, is everybody in that room is essentially the catalyst of where we are now, because instead of those people who they have all reached out to Punk and said, hey, can you give us a story? Hey, can we get your side? Didn't do it in this situation and ran with a story that they heard. And instead of running with the story, instead of asking Punk before they ran the story, they all want to be the first ones to do it. So essentially CM Punk, who's tired, fed up, angry, and hit that boiling point, now has everybody in front of him that is the catalyst of what's going on media-wise, and shot his mouth off. I know it's not professional, but he's essentially doing it to their face. He's saying, if you have problems, you're the ones reporting it. Here's my side of the story now. Now you're going to get it. Not great, but I can't really say I don't blame him.
It's important to note too here, he wasn't actually asked a question about it. He actually saw an interviewer that used to be friends with Colt Cabana.
That's even worse.
Well, there was an exchange that was said, because the press conference cut in mid-sentence when he was like, so who's your friend? So there was something that happened before that conference even set off. Because if you look, like they were slow to start it. And then, so there was an exchange there. He probably came in and goes, oh, here's my, you know what I mean? Like typical Punk. He probably came in and said, oh, here's all the people that like to report things without asking. Like, I think there was more to what happened before the cameras cut on.
And that probably is the case too. The thing is, it's so convoluted, it's so confusing, it's so engaging, it's so enthralling, it's so many.
Yeah. If they could turn this into a storyline, they'd make money.
There's so many different elements to it.
And who knows who's to blame fully, because nobody was to blame fully. But my take on Hangman is this. I believe now, see, Anthony, and I take your word for what it is. You said that there was a comment made that the Hangman doesn't listen to, that he doesn't. What was the exact thing?
He said in an interview he doesn't go up to the legends and he doesn't take advice from legends. He figures things out on his own.
Yeah,
and that rubbed a lot of legends the wrong way.
It would rub me the wrong way too if that's like, say, if you go over to Terry Funk, like you said, or Stone Cold Steve Austin or Ric Flair, and they say, hey, listen, kid, and you're like, you know what, Flair, you know what, Stone Cold, I don't need to talk to you. Like, come on, bro. That's disrespect right there. And you don't have to wait, hold, let me finish. You don't have to take their advice. You don't have to take any of it, but you should at least be open to listen and then blow it off later. You shouldn't you shouldn't publicly say, I don't think I should have to listen to a legend. These are guys that paved the way for you. Okay? Wrestling was not a sport that was smiled upon for a long time. It was a sideshow carny attraction. And now you've got WrestleMania and you've got these major events that are global because of people like Gorgeous George, or Superstar Billy Graham, or Bobo Brazil, or Andre the Giant, Bruno Sammartino, Terry Funk, Ric Flair, and you keep going as the years progress. Could you imagine that, let's say just Shawn Michaels was coming down to AEW to talk to Billy Gunn. He was going to be backstage just to say hi. And he goes, hey, Adam, you're doing a great. And he goes, hey, HBK, I don't need to listen to you. Guess what's going to happen to Paige? You're going to catch a freaking super kick in the jaw. You can't do that. Now, if you don't want to take the guy's advice, fine. Honest to God, and I know it's going to sound real conceited, if The Rock said, hey, Tony, when you cut a promo, I'm like, you know what, Mr. Johnson, thank you so much. Oh, appreciate it. You know what I'd say after he left? I'd say, you know what? I would say it to him, but to Kira, I say, I'm not listening to The Rock because he is 5'7". He'd be washing cars. That's what I would say. But I wouldn't say it to his face, and I sure wouldn't say it in public because he's the freaking Rock. Adam Page has to know his place and check his ego at the freaking door.
The one thing I do want to say as well, from what I've seen about that interview that CM Punk was referencing too, that what Hangman said, I don't really listen to advice. He didn't really mean it in a discouraging way. When he did, I think it was at a wrestling school is where he did the interview at, and somebody asked him a question have you taken any advice from Punk or Sting? But I think that the advice thing may stem from something else. I know Ramon was talking about it earlier. That maybe Punk wants to be more of a locker room leader, and that's not there right now. It could just be something as far as Punk and Hangman planning something out, and Hangman was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that, bro." Like
Now,
it is all speculation, but it's
my
there.
my take on that, and I do agree you should listen. What's the first thing they teach you in the wrestling business?
Respect.
What's the term? What's the phrase they teach you? What do you do when you go into a locker room?
Oh, you shake everybody's hand. You
Even before that, you shut your mouth and you open your ears.
Oh, right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and I get that to an extent, but we also there's a weird culture thing that has been going on for a long time, and I will say I feel like it kind of started with my generation and it carried over into like Kira's generation, but there also is a toxic thing where just because I'm older or I've been here longer than you, I should be able to dictate to you how you have to live your life and how you have to go through experiences. And I think every generational experience is different and people are going through things in a different way. And if you're 6 foot tall, 345 pounds, I'm sorry, but I can't do things the way you do them. I can't go about things the way you do it. Sure, there's certain situations I can take, but I've also had a lot of not wrestlers, but people in this industry come up to me and say, "Oh, I did internet radio when I was in college, or I used to help out with a radio station back in the day, so I can tell you how to do your podcast better." And I was like, you have it's apples and oranges. What you're telling me, I appreciate, but you're also doing it in a fashion where I've been here longer than you and respect me because I'm the veteran. And that has happened. That happens a lot in locker rooms too, where people just demand respect that I don't feel they deserved yet. And I don't, and that's the thing too. One of the other things you get told, like wrestling's very convoluted, where it's like respect the veterans, respect what you're told, but also if a veteran goes and shoots on you, you're supposed to thank him and shake his hand and move on because you did the right thing. Fuck that. You go in for business for yourself and kick me in the mouth in the ring. If I don't beat you in the ring, you better believe we're going to talk about it in the locker room. And that's where this generational gap is. And I think people like Hangman Adam Page and this newer generation is kind of seeing guys like Punk, where it's like, oh, you mean the guy that you stole like 3 people's girlfriends and you did this and you did that, and they're because everybody knows everybody's stories. You know what I mean? And they're like, I'm good with my advice, man. You can go sit over there. And I think that's essentially what's happening there too. Hey, Tony, I love your commentary, but why don't you wear a suit next show? Why don't you cut your hair? So you want me to become everything else that everybody else is? I appreciate your advice, but if I fail, at least I failed trying to be me.
Yeah,
if Kevin Owens listened to everyone's advice, he'd be his size with muscle, and he would be no different than anybody else on the roster. And CM Punk's another one that Kevin Owens can't stand because he said the same thing to him. He body shamed him and said, "Why do you wear his t-shirt, fatty?" Kevin Owens says, "Yeah, let's go in the ring and talk about it."
Adam Page is a saint.
So I to a certain extent, I can see possibly where Hangman Adam Page came from, just from my personal experience of things you can go through in this business.
So
it is a double-edged sword.
Are we in agreement that Hangman Adam Page is not the problem, or that he's just a little bit of a problem, or what exactly?
I think he's the first one that spoke. Well, here's the thing. MJF said real shit to CM Punk. MJF brought up the Colt Cabana thing a few times in said promos. Cody Rhodes brought up some CM Punk stuff before in promos. Eddie Kingston said CM Punk stuff in promos. But for some reason, the Hangman Adam Page one's the one that set CM Punk off.
He feels that maybe Punk feels like he should have been an originator of AEW, not Colt Cabana. Because remember, Colt Cabana knew everything about AEW starting up before a lot of people did. So maybe he feels a little jealousy there that he's not as close to Colt Cabana as Hangman was to know about AEW. It's more.
Or Hangman Adam Page hangs out with Colt Cabana backstage. So when it was said by Hangman Adam Page, Colt Cabana goes, "Oh, well, your guys are friends and you should disclose that." Kind of like that was said to the journalist. That's probably where wrestling is just like the high school, man. There's a clique over here in the locker room. There's a group over here in the locker room. There's a few people who can mingle between everybody and everything's cool. That's essentially what's going on here. He didn't get upset when those 4 people said it, but he got upset when Hangman said it. And Hangman has been hanging out with Colt Cabana and being friends with all of them. And so have the Bucks. So have Kenny. So now all of a sudden it's a problem because the one group kind of told CM Punk he's being a baby, but CM Punk knows that they're all friends with that guy.
Why pick Hangman out of the bunch? Because CM Punk feels
He's a low-hanging fruit.
Is the weakest link, and he could get him taken out and make it seem like he's the problem. He knows what he's doing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Punk is not dumb. He's a master manipulator to get what he wants, bro. And that's
can't go after 3 EVPs, so he goes after Hangman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all speculation, by the way, people. This is just us talking.
We're just professionals here, guys. We're just.
I'm far from professional. That's why I leave it to you guys. I'm just trying to figure out. Oh God, please fix that. I'm just trying to figure out where do we go from here. You know, we got Punk, we've got Khan. Kira's trying to fix the thumbnail that I want fixed, so we're gonna put a graphic up in a second. Is that the right thing? Are the Bucks at fault as well?
Yeah. Well, somebody said in the chat earlier, and I kind of kept it in the back of my head. Someone said, "Yeah, but to get to the point to throw chairs is a problem." If I'm Ace Steel, and my wife is in that locker room, and 2 guys just kick the door in, and I know those 2 guys probably have 2 more guys behind them because they roll in a group. Yeah, I'm hitting you in the face with a chair. Because if my wife gets hurt, I'll kill all of you. Straight up.
I mean, yeah.
If I lock my door because I don't want to deal with your shit, and you keep knocking, and we don't open it, and you kick it down, and my family's in that locker room, you're lucky you only got hit in the eye with a chair, and you're lucky it was only one of you.
It's gonna be a fight.
It's one of those.
And I'm biting. No, my wife's in the room, and I feel she's been threatened and she's in danger. You're lucky I didn't rip an eyeball out of a head.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they kick down the door, and then that meme plays. And it's at this moment where they knew they effed up.
It's like the Boondocks episode, like, you want to see a fight start? Someone throw a chair. Who threw that chair? Yeah. Tony, I'm sure you do the same thing. You're in a locker room and things get crazy and Kira's there.
Well, let me tell you, we had a situation like that, right? We were at an event. And it was 2 things. This happened twice, both times at GCW. When Nick Gage was coming, I said, Kira, grab me, because if anybody touches you, we'll have a problem. And then another time at GCW, with this, somebody thought I was trying to cut the line, and he was like, "Oh, yo, watch." I say, "Yo, let me tell you something, bro. My daughter's here. We ain't going there because I will burn it down." So yeah, you're right. I get it. I don't play. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They're like, there you go.
They went into a locker room and they closed the door to cool down, and they kicked the door down. They kicked it down, and they ate a chair for kicking the door down.
Why are they doing this? Why can't we just talk?
But you know what though? If
it's a business with a lot of testosterone and ego.
If that's the case, you know what they should have did, man? They should have said, you know what, guys? They should have been bigger men and said, look, let's handle this. Let's go to the parking lot like men and do this like men, and then it's over. Because look, I don't know. I'm older than you guys, and I tell you how we used to do it. I don't want to take 52's comment. It's insane when she's getting the game like Joseph. The rest of them, we all talking the same punk. Okay. Back in the day, bro, we go outside, we scrap, and when it's over, we give each other a pound, and that's it.
Bret Hart and Shawn fought each other, and Shawn got a chunk of hair pulled out, and they cried, and they got upset, and they said they each wanted the other one fired. And Vince said, "Get it in the ring. You're on for Mania." And then they got it in the ring, and still people didn't want to do business, and what happened.
And it's true. It's true. This comment in the chat, I've seen a couple of comments like this tonight. I can't remember everybody's name on the comments that we saw, but oh yeah, MJF returned. This is from Will Sport, and no one talking about that CM Punk, whatever. He's basically trying to say that it's overshadowing, like we talked about earlier.
It is over,
and it's sad because a lot of people waited for MJF to come back. He comes back.
MJF hid from the world that entire time until CM Punk's foot got better. And
then now he comes back, and what happens, Mr. Punk?
He's back into more drama.
Yeah, it's a lot of components to this, like you said, Anthony. It's a lot of people getting affected, storyline wise getting affected, and it's
that's why I said my biggest thing is I feel bad for MJF. just from personal, I had a personal conversation with somebody at MJF that knows MJF. Actually, two people that know MJF that I had conversations with, and both people said he goes out of his way to keep that character alive. He hides in public. But the second one person sees him in public as MJF, he's MJF. He doesn't care if you're a grandmother, if you're a 5-year-old kid. He purposely tries to hide as MJF. He worked really, really hard to build this and really, really hard to do this story and really, really hard to hide away from everybody so he could make this return. And it's all being washed.
At NYWC, when I went into the Hall of Fame with the HWA, MJF was there. Okay, he walks down the stairs. I'm in the bathroom. He goes in the bathroom. He goes, "What's up?" I go, "What's up, man?" Like just like nothing. The minute I came out first, wash my hands in the hall, he goes. He becomes in the hall. He was the nicest guy to me in the bathroom. Was me and him. Walked out. A little kid passes. He goes, "What the fuck are you looking at?" To me, and I said, "What?" And he gives me the, he gives me the dude is a professional. So think about this. What has happened to this guy? This guy is bar none, maybe the best heel in the business. No matter what you think of him, the guy tells a good story, and he makes you want to punch him in the freaking face.
And for how good he is, you don't know. You don't think he's sitting at home right now with a notebook writing all of these down, all the stuff that he can use in promos forever. He is like who's the rapper? Is it not KRS-One? No, yeah, KRS-One. Didn't KRS-One said I have a journal for every single rapper in the game? If you come at me, I have bars for every one of you. That's MJF. MJF's got a journal for everybody.
I got one for you guys.
Does this solidify MJF leaving and going to WWE?
No.
His paycheck he signed recently is very, very nice.
Not to mention his stock goes up now because guess what? The 25-year-old immature guy is acting bigger than everybody else that has all this status. You gotta build a company around this guy right now.
He is the one guy that stayed professional throughout the entire thing, and he's the guy who's going to turn around and he's going to make he's going to make it so if CM Punk does walk away, he'll say it in storyline and it'll make it beautiful.
And the one thing I wanted to bring up too is that MJF is being affected by this, obviously, but think about the belts they just introduced, the trios title, and we're not talking about that. And I think it was a really good match that they had on the pay-per-view, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Elite right now versus CM Punk,
And I feel like even for tomorrow, people are going to be looking forward to what they say about what happened at the media scrum. People are going to be looking forward to what they're going to do with CM Punk and all these people. They're not going to be looking forward to the matches, I don't think. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to how they're going to explain this to the general public.
Yeah, and here's the thing. What do they say? Who starts the show off? Does Tony Khan come out and say, "Oh, listen, everybody,
Nope. You know who starts the show off?
MJF.
And then halfway through the show, the Acclaim comes out and does a little rap making fun of it too.
They've got to attack this. And for the first time, we got 60 guys in the chat. I changed the thumbnail. It helped. Guys, hit the likes. If you're here for the first time, please like, please share, please subscribe.
Terry, Osprey has a lot of stuff he has to do in Japan. They could not have put the trio titles on him. He's got a lot to do in Japan. That was just a one-off. He has a lot of work to do.
Before I was so rudely interrupted by Blackwell because he's got to get to your peons. I'm joking, guys. Guys, hit the only joke is hit the likes, guys. Hit the likes. MJF consistency with kayfabe is refreshing days wrestling business. I agree. I met the guy for 30 seconds and I loved him. And he told me to go F off and I loved it because that's the kind of guy you want to be in your wrestling ring.
Dude, a year and a half ago, Brian on our podcast hated him. Said I think he's dumb. I think he's unoriginal. I think he's the worst thing in professional wrestling. Brian's a fan now. He won Brian over.
I'll tell you this. Heather asked if he would be the same way in WWE. I think he could be under Triple H, but before no, now I believe if he went, he would be similar to AEW.
Let me ask this question of the panel and the chat. Stephen Chambers makes a good little quote right here. He says, 30-minute MJF pipe bomb tomorrow night. Would you have a problem with this entire show just them talking about what
30 minutes is too much.
You think so?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
You get to 15, but 30?
Shout out to my boy Brock Mosby. First of all, this is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be Punk, though. MJF. I'm saying you get the segment where MJF comes out, and then boom, either Tony Khan comes out. or Punk comes out. I think you could drag this. I think this is something where I would not have a problem dating Russell for the first hour.
Here's the problem.
Really?
If Punk or the Elite show up on TV on Wednesday, I would literally be hiding in my office, because if I am Eddie Kingston, I'm punching you in the face as an owner, because I didn't even hit somebody. I just smushed them, and I got suspended for 2 weeks. And these dudes are beating each other with chairs and biting each other and kicking doors down and having the entire locker room separate them. If they don't take any punishment as suspension, or like use the suspension to prolong it and get creative with it, but MJF needs to be out here every week being like, I would take this title tonight. But unfortunately, people's back there getting beat up by everybody backstage. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. You have to. The Elite and Kenny Omega, if they're on Dynamite, I would be absolutely shocked.
Wait, let me say one thing. Here's the problem as well. I clicked Brock Mosby's name because we work together. Hey, Brock, I know you're listening. This is what upsets me. If me and Brock get into a fight at the bus yard,
they're fired.
It's over. Get out. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Where are the suspensions? Where are the fines? And where is the accountability for these people that did this? Now, of course, these guys are your major talents, and maybe you don't want to let them go. Fine. But this is what I do as Tony Khan. I say, okay, Punk, you're stripped of the title. F you. Kenny, Bucks, you're stripped of the trios title. We'll do tournaments or whatever, and whoever else had any culpability in this, they got to pay the fine, and they got to sit their ass down and be suspended. Who
Absolutely.
is going to pay? Who's going to pay for this? Because I sure paid $50 for the pay-per-view.
Let me throw a what if scenario, right? I just saw a comment. If this is real, and we want to pretend like it's a work here, and I'm gonna say, if they do patch things up, could you imagine after a month, they pull a Scott Hall here, and in the middle of a match they have CM Punk come out, and they have Punk come out and basically grab a microphone and kind of do what MJF did. They kind of, they took his microphone off basically. But imagine if they blurred the lines basically, where after Punk cuts this promo basically calling out the EVPs and Tony Khan and everyone, we've never really seen like a backstage thing. We've kind of seen it in WWE before. We've never seen somebody actually go backstage to the production area and actually confront some of these guys. So if this was turned into a work, like we were saying with like a 30-minute promo or whatever, or where basically the production of the show was cost, I mean, this would be everywhere. This would be this hypothetically, we're talking about the situation, and if it is real, then yes, somebody has to pay. If they're able to turn this into a work, the amount I said it on my podcast today, reality versus storyline, those two combining is going to be so much money right there.
And you're right, but my thing is this as well. Here's a perfect example. This dude right here, he started this problem. They should work into a storyline where he gets his ass kicked. Somebody should kick his ass, put his ass through a table, and if you want to be Vince McMahon, well, put your body on the line. Listen, you can say what you want to say about Vince. He was the worst wrestler ever. He was terrible. But guess what? He got heat. When you saw him get on Monday night, you wanted Stone Cold to whip his ass.
Yeah. The best way to go about this is have them all disappear for a bit. You have enough talent. Your roster's talented enough and deep enough that they can go without those four talent. It's just my opinion. They're all great, but there's enough people there that they can go without. And you figure it out from there. But there has to be some types of punishment. There has to be repercussions for this.
Let me ask you a question, Anthony. All three of you, and Kira.
Tony.
And in the Tony, and in the chat as well. Is this the perfect opportunity for someone like Ricky Starks, a Will Hobbs, to try to get their name out there a little more, get on TV a little bit during this chaos, maybe have a little more importance on the show and open people's eyes to their real talent and maybe see them as a potential future star in the business?
The best person to benefit from this is going to be MJF, because he's with your top four people gone. He 100% shows his value in the company going forward here with the storyline and keeping things fresh. I think the Acclaimed really step up and show, sure, we can't do the flippy stuff that the Bucks do, but we could put together the Bucks, the Acclaimed and Keith Lee didn't have to do flips, didn't go from spot to spot to spot to spot to spot with zero setup, zero selling. They told a old school tag team wrestling match story, and they did it without doing the spot fest. They did the exact opposite of what the Bucks do, the Lucha Brothers do, and what most tag teams in that division do, where they go and they go through 14 tables and quick get up and get in their next spot. The Acclaim show that they are a tag team. They are a viable tag team in this division. FTR is always sitting there. Like, there's a lot of things they can do, and they don't need those 4 talent to get it done.
Kira.
I feel like everyone is replaceable, honestly. They have, as Anthony said, they have a huge roster with a lot of great talent. And if they actually do go through with like the repercussions of their actions thing, and they do take these guys off of TV, I think it'll be quite the adjustment for people who only come to see the big names or only know the big names. But when the big names are gone, this is a chance to have the smaller guys build up their names and probably establish them to be as big as the guys that they might have lost during all this drama.
Steven Chambers put a good name out there, Miro.
Yeah.
You got Miro and Daniel Bryan on your roster. Or
Wait a
Bryan
minute. Wait a minute. Jakey Bakey. Miro is slightly more talented than Braun Strowman.
Slightly.
I gotta disagree.
Slightly.
Wrong with you,
Thank
Jakey?
you, I love you.
We're all attacking you. We're talking at the same time because we're gonna kill you. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, the last month of the podcast, you're no longer moderator.
Oh wait. Oh, Syndrome. That sounded so wrong. I'm telling you, fiance. Who's banging? Is that Mike? How's he doing?
Dad, I'm downstairs.
Oh, downstairs. Okay. They will just get the bill for me. Well, he's gonna get it anyway. But see, that's the thing. You got to keep that title on Punk, because MJF has to be Punk. You can't give it to him in a tournament. It's watered down.
He worked too hard. He worked too hard to get to this point. That's the only thing that I would say that would keep Punk employed is MJF worked so hard for this storyline. They have to get it in the ring.
If I'm Tony Khan and I'm going to get rid of Punk in the long run, I say, Punk, I troll him. Bro, you're right. These guys, and you say, here's a couple extra $1 million. Let's do business. Go, let MJF go over, and then we'll go from there, and then fire his ass.
I don't even know why Punk still wants to be there. Does he still even want to be there? Because honestly, he sounds like he's sick of it.
He's Bret Hart. He's bitter.
The money, I don't know. I don't think he needs it.
He does.
He needs it.
He needs it. His money was going low, and that's one of the only reasons he came back, because he wasn't going to MMA anymore, and he can't act. So they had only one option.
First of all, he is no Anthony Blackwell where he has a sexy Asian wife like Heidi. That's number one. Number two, AJ Lee ain't making no big bucks in that organization.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I heard what Wild be throwing away for paychecks.
Oh yeah, they making money?
Well, they're not making money, but they're spending it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She ain't got
Isn't Jeannie Buss owner of that, like from the Lakers or something?
I'll put it this way: there's people on that roster who are on that roster, and they made good money and making money. I'm sure AJ Lee's contract is pretty nice.
Okay.
As long as CM Punk and AJ Lee, CM Punk has been in this business, he can't figure out how to finance his money, budget his money, and figure out how to.
Apparently not.
Some people make people when they're not used to living in little tiny apartments and houses that are falling in on them, so they don't know how to budget and they don't know how to do it, and then they get money and forget where they came from, and they live a lifestyle they can't afford, and then think, well, I made enough, I can cut it off. And then when they realize that, like, oh boy, we're 6 months, when their budgeter comes in and says, yo, you're 2 years away from being nothing, then they panic and they say, I'll go wrestle again.
I think Ric Flair. Yeah, I think he needs to find somewhere else, because this environment where he's in, it's toxic to himself, and I think it's toxic to everyone else. Like, the backstage climate for everyone, I think, is making the show as a whole kind of go down.
You know what CM Punk needs to do? He needs to drink a beer and smoke some weed.
Oh, God.
Bro, for a straight edge guy, he's the most tense person on the planet. Just saying. Crack a beer. Take a sip. I'm not
You know-
saying turn into an alcoholic. I'm saying lighten up, brother.
Brock Mosby, who does not like AEW, even he knows MJF is the guy to need. And Brock Mosby knows a lot about wrestling, and he has. I've been trying to get him to watch AEW forever. He will not. He's like F it. But he knows. He's a casual fan when it comes to AEW. Not even a fan, but he knows MJF's the guy they need. They've got to book this around MJF. They've got to find a way to get MJF all the heat to get. They got to flip. They got to turn Punk. They got to make everybody hate Punk, and which they probably do anyway because he's an a-hole. And they got to put this title on MJF and cut bait. Punk's got to go, and I'll be glad to see him go. I'm over this.
I would love to hear, like in 10, 15 years, what the actual storyline idea was for CM Punk and MJF pre foot injury, after a foot injury, and then leading up after the mock situation. That's a story I can't wait to hear in 10, 15 years on a podcast, and how much of it changed and how convoluted it was backstage. Because people think they have all this nailed down and figured out. But if you've been in any wrestling locker room, you realize how much of these turn into shit shows.
Well, they're in one right now. They're in a show with it. This is a major company. This is the number 2 company on earth, supposedly, and they can't get it right. Like, come on. They've got the deepest roster I've ever seen. And you can't run a tight ship here. Jericho must be just laughing, like, I'm just collecting my check. You know, can't wait.
Jericho's trying to become a locker room leader, but it's
yeah, but I think Jericho's gonna say, you know what, I'm 51. I can't wait till this contract's over and go back home and retire and go to Hall of Fame because this is a bunch of crap. Listen, Cody Rhodes, no matter what you think of him, he got out of there. Maybe he was a problem too, but if he was a problem, he took himself out of the equation.
I watched an interview where he said, it's kind of crazy because he said it, and then we talked. I kind of brought it up on the podcast the other night. He said, what do you think with all these mergers and everything going on in AEW? He said, you're going to put the biggest egos in one locker room, and there's going to be a lot of turmoil coming soon. I was like, you ain't wrong. You can't put the dream team together and expect all the top guys in the world who think they're the top guys and know they're the top guys, and one of them's got to take a seat to the other one. It's going to be an interesting story. Listen, Impact is a good place to watch, and it's fun. It's a fun company to check out, and it's fun in all those aspects. But if you want to make money, Impact's not always the way to go.
Yeah.
Impact's about a step up from MLW.
Good question by Glacier BTH. So
You know how you know Impact's in trouble?
So if they turn this all around and turn it into a story, are people still going to make firings and say that they're lying? How would we really know? We wouldn't if they do it right. They could fix this. They could fix this. You know? They could fix this like they did with Tatanka and the $1 Million Corporation. He fooled the whole damn America. You know? He fooled you the whole time. You know? I'm just saying. Lex Luger didn't join the corporation. It was Tatanka. You got too old. No, what? Bad analogy? Too old? No.
How do casual fans, after seeing the footage of Punk, look at CM Punk and really like want to see him on TV? Like he goes back into full character, and now he's just not cursing.
He turns heel.
I still don't think it worked. I think he needs to be out of there.
I don't even know if he's going to turn heel at this point, to be honest with you.
He doesn't have to. The fans are going to turn him heel.
He might not want to do business. He's holding Tony Khan hostage right now.
CM Punk.
Like guys, I'm sorry, Kara. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say CM Punk is just like a Debbie Downer, and he's just so
Debbie
negative.
Downer? What a kid.
He's so negative. And I went on like a string of into all of his interviews, and it's like the same attitude. Like he's so moody. I just don't understand. Maybe he just needs to take some time and meditate and just center himself before he can be around other people, because it's always the same kind of moody attitude.
He thinks he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. A lot of parallels there.
He centered himself for 7 years, Kira. He's back. He's back. And like I said, the one line that a lot of people didn't hear at that press conference, or went over a lot of people's head, was when he said, and this holds a lot to me, "I'm trying to run a business here." That tells you everything you need to know. He feels like he's the owner. and he makes the moves. And when it doesn't happen his way, he complains and bitches and moans and blames Meltzer and Sapp and whoever the hell else he wants to blame. How about you just get out there, do business, stop complaining. You're making a lot more money than a lot of people in this world. And hey, listen, God bless you. Nobody's hating on you or anybody who makes that type of money. But if you're getting that type of money, perform for the people, do your job, stop complaining, stop griping over Colt Cabana after years and his mother and you going to court and all this other crap that you're talking about. Nobody cares, CM Punk. Nobody gives a damn about any of that. All we want is good wrestling and to be entertained and not deal with politics about your personal issues because Colt Cabana took your girlfriend years ago and you're still upset about it. So I'm sorry.
So here's an analogy. 4.5 stars versus a 5-star. CM Punk versus this mystery man. That this proves that he's clearly better. It's a meme. I think it's funny. Shoots on colleagues at a media scrum. Makes journalists acknowledge him at press conferences. Only thinks of himself. Head of the table, provides for everybody. Never beat an MMA fighter. Beat Brock Lesnar 3 times. People come to his locker room to fight him. People come to his locker room to acknowledge him. Has to fight him for himself. Sends his cousins and his honorary oos to fight for him. Acknowledge me.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it.
That's why we all love Austin Theory.
That's why there's a Bloodline T-shirt in the mail for me right now.
And I hate
I wasn't getting the acknowledge me, daddy one. That was too many daddy shirts. I can't go too hard to the paint. You know.
I hate to compare WWE and AEW, but they're the two bigger wrestling organizations right now. And if you compare the Roman Reigns' like after his Clash of the Castle match, and you compare CM Punk's after Clash match, I can understand that Roman was in kayfabe, but you can still he still played it right, you know. And he didn't have to do that because a lot of people that were there, Drew McIntyre didn't really stay in kayfabe, I don't think, the entire time. So that was his decision. Maybe he doesn't have drama, but he still kept it professional. Tony Khan, he looks terrible. That just made him look so bad. The way CM Punk just said whatever he felt, and Tony Khan didn't step in not once until he was done cursing up a storm and all that stuff.
Could I get one of those drinks, Punk? Is that all right? He's such a sweetheart. Look at him. Such a sweetheart. Shut up, Tony Khan. Oh, man.
Not to mention that the media scrum and Izzy, who's not even 18 years old, and Izzy's there, and he's dropping the F-bomb, F you, F this, and F you, and you this, and this, and your mama this, and where's...
Don't walk in the room if you ain't ready for it.
You know? You know?
Can we stop making cursing so criminalized? It's not that bad.
Even with Triple H, you can kind of see that he was paying attention. I don't like cursing. You can kind of see that he was paying attention to what his superstars were saying, and if they said something that they probably shouldn't have, you can tell that he was paying attention enough to like give them a look. Tony Khan just lets anyone do anything. Like, he was literally just sitting there. What was the point of him being there in the first place? He had so many responsibilities.
They try to recreate New Japan and UFC.
He had so many responsibilities that he could have eliminated all of this stuff if he could have just shut it down in the beginning, or he could have just said something to CM Punk and be like, hey, keep this professional. Like, that was just ridiculous on Tony Khan's part.
I agree.
Shout out to Big Hirsch, my man. Love you, my brother. Go ahead, Rick.
No, real quick. I was gonna say the only way I think this will ever work out to come as a success as a work, and this is just my opinion. You can call me crazy. Tony Khan has to become a television personality and become a heel and say, listen, it's my company and I push who I want and I'm standing by CM Punk, and that's that. And that will flip everything and people will get interested. And I think that's the way you would play it. And one way you could play it. But I think this guy's screwed, bro. I think AEW, if they do not play this the right way, I think it's trouble, because you got to think about it. The talent in the back that really are feeling affected by this, that want to leave, are not going to resign. They might ask for their release. And if that happens, then what? You don't have no talent. You don't have no company. So that's how you gotta look at it.
I don't think there's any way Tony Khan can be on TV. I don't think he can cut a promo at all. He'll probably be smiling in the middle of.
We thought Dominic was bad. I think Tony Tony's a little worse here. He's like just sitting there.
Do you do you think that if this does become a work, could there be possibly somebody that represents Tony Khan, like how Paul Heyman represents Brock Lesnar in a sense?
Yeah, Shane McMahon.
Roger Goodell.
What? No, I don't think so. I don't think because that'll be even more embarrassing. Someone has to come out and talk
for the billionaire.
Yeah, for the guy who runs the company.
Well, maybe it could lead to Tony Khan eventually saying something, though. That's what I'm kind of alluding.
If he can spend some time and learn how to do a promo and all that good stuff, I think he can actually. I think it'd be good for the business if he came out and did something.
You send it out. You send it out saying that they didn't even talk about the. No one knew that the other guys were suspended or the fight happened. You know what I mean? You just take them off TV for a little bit, just like they're gone, and be like after their grueling match. Like you don't have to. This is where you don't have to make everything right in front of your face. Is you turn around and say during the match. Unfortunately, we had 2 major injuries at our pay-per-view. Tony Schiavone comes out and says we had 2 major injuries. CM Punk was injured during the fight. His timeline is this. We're not doing an interim title this time. We have to figure something out. And then MJF turns around and says, I don't care. I'm not taking a title this way. Or he says, I'm the champion. And then when I come back, I'll just beat Punk again or whatever that may be. I don't know how they book it. I'm just throwing something out there. And they say, there was an injury with the Bucks and Kenny Omega during their grueling match. And now they have to vacate the titles as well. You don't have to put like I said, no one knew Kingston was even suspended until after it was done. This is a little different because everybody knows, but you can do this without blurring the lines again. But it's right. This can all be done with commentary. This can all be done with a backstage segment. It doesn't have to be done as of like, hey, we all know that the fight happened, because then fans like Kira, who if she was on this show, she would have no idea, aren't now researching all this crazy nonsense and finding out there's more stuff. You don't pull a WWE here and then put out Matt Riddle marriage problems so everyone can Google what Matt Riddle did wrong.
Tony Khan needs me because that fiery goddamn body there. You're all fired. You're fired. Punk, get out. Paige, get out.
Every time.
Bucks, get out. Omega, get out. I don't care where you go. And we rebuild with the guys that want to work. Sometimes, hey, listen, I know it sounds crazy. Get rid of them all. Because, listen, in real life, you do that. You throw a chair at somebody, you bite somebody. Who are you, Mike Tyson? You bite
Who bit who?
I don't know.
Ace Steel, Big Ten. I guess during a exchange, Ace Steel shot a double leg on Kenny, but because Kenny is gassed out of his brains right now, Steel was like, you know what? I can't beat him up. I'm biting him in the leg.
What?
It's crazy.
They're just making fools of themselves.
Yeah.
Most guys with egos do, Kira. Most guys with egos do.
I got an ego.
Egos and tons of testosterone.
And cocaine.
That too.
Well, that's for Tony Khan at least.
He's such a sweetheart, isn't he? He's such a sweetheart.
But yeah,
what do you put in this soda?
Man, I love CM Punk, man.
This soda's got me real wired.
Did you see him when Swerve and Keith Lee came out? He said, "Oh, we got the tag team champions coming in. Here they come."
Knocking everything off the table.
Jeez Louise.
Hey guys, thanks for hitting those likes. Keep them going. We're at 47. Not bad.
I think we're beating dead horse at this point, saying the same things over and over again. Anything else we can contribute? Or
everybody's asking a question NXT, and the answer is no.
Yeah, it was a great show.
No, Swann now. GM Strong. Make a Survivor Series type match of EVP to Page versus Punk, Ace, and FTR. Okay. How about we take some questions in the chat? Because
sure.
Let's do it. We're at let's go a little while. So guys, ask your questions. If you guys want to send a super chat, I'd appreciate it. If you're broke, I don't like you. I'm joking. If you can't send a super chat, just share the channel. Tell a buddy. We had a lot of viewership tonight. We appreciate it. But start asking your questions. And
No, Swerve.
Hunter Iggy, I missed you.
Swerve sold that press conference kayfabe wise. That he did that exactly how he should have.
And that it was a very rude question by one of the pressers asking Tony Khan, "Do you think you should have called an audible and have the Acclaim win?" Why would you ask that with them there? And that's so stupid.
Well, they asked that in front of him, and Swerve stayed kayfabe. He stayed in the character that he would as a wrestler. Like, why would you what do you mean call an audible? This isn't fake wrestling. I beat those guys, and that's exactly how we handled the question, and he did it like a gangster.
Yeah.
Do they come up with the questions like on the spot, or did their questions?
Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
I think their questions should be reviewed.
Well, then it's
Well, of course.
Then it's not freedom of press.
Yeah, it's not freedom of press at that point.
First Amendment.
What? Oh.
Hey, Kira, I got a question. How is it working for the Tantalizer one?
What? Excuse me? Pardon?
Kira, how is it working for the Tantalizing one?
How is what working?
How is your job as a producer working for Tantalizing?
Oh.
She'll get there. She'll get there. Kira's off her game. Where's Big Bucks?
Where's those thighs, Bobby? Where them thighs?
I was so confused.
She blew it.
I'm sorry.
Let's get to some questions. Stephen Chambers asks, what are the chances of seeing both AEW titles and the trios titles interim? Oh my!
I hope not, man.
I
really hope not.
This is gonna become IEW, Interim Elite Wrestling.
I hate the interim championships. I feel like they think that they always need like a world champion on TV to keep up their ratings, but that's not the case. Just say,
yeah,
hey,
ask WB.
Yep.
Kira's like, I hate you.
Predictions on Wednesday's ratings.
Over a million.
Graves, go first. Well, Graves go second.
Sorry.
I'll go a mil. I think a mil.
Richie?
Say about 1.2, 1.3 mil because of the controversy.
I think their highest ratings. I think their highest ratings so far.
I'm going to go 1.57.
You guys are.
I don't know what their highest was, so I will say it'll beat that.
I believe Punk Dynamite. No, was it Grand Slam? No, Punk's Rampage was
the night Punk debuted was their highest rating, I believe.
That's Rampage.
Whatever it was the highest.
Whatever, yeah.
The CM Punk one. That's what you're talking about. CM Punk coming in the highest. Yeah, I think that was.
Hunter Iggy asked, Tantalizer Tony. That's me. Should WWE go after Adam Page when his contract is done in AEW? Of course. I would.
If he wants to.
Yeah,
it's up to Adam Page.
It might be sooner than later.
Put him in Elias in a tag team.
Do you guys think that some people who aren't involved in this drama might want to leave so that they don't get caught up in any of it? Do you think anyone is like too? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reports that's coming out right now with Sean Ross Sapp is there's a lot of people in the locker room who have clearly said they're against the CM Punk side of things, and that if he doesn't get fired or something doesn't happen in accordance to what they feel is necessary, that they will not be resigning or whatever the case may be, ask for releases or not want to be there because they won't feel comfortable.
Yeah, it'd be really unhealthy for them to stay there backstage with all that going on when some of those people, all they want to do is just wrestle and have a good time, and people are bringing in their personal drama.
NXT Black and Gold can get real good real quick.
Sindro asks, what are the odds of getting rid of interim championship because that crap is whack?
So the interim thing is just essentially a playoff UFC again. Every time that they can't actually have a champion, but they don't want to strip a champion because he's deserved it, they just go the interim right. But if it's done too much, it's annoying.
I don't agree with it. I think if you're injured and you're a champion, you're not going to be able to compete with
you forfeit it. Absolutely.
you should give it up, and that's it. I don't say you go back to the end of the line, but I say when you come back, maybe you do earn a number one contendership because you lost it without your own, under circumstances of injury.
So if they do a big number, it is from Glacier BTH. So if they do a big number and it's an amazing Dynamite, does the narrative change? They've got to control the narrative.
Now, I think the big narrative would have to be if Omega and the Bucks are in the ring, they're going to apologize. They have all the other tag teams in the ring, and we have Braun Strowman come out and bury the whole division.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it.
I think that's how we do this. I think that's how you fantasy book it.
Graves, you know what, Graves? I think you just earned your spot here forever on the show. I think that's how to do it.
Could you imagine if the Elite comes out, the whole roster's out there, Tony Khan's out there, and they say we've come to terms with the release of CM Punk. There is no champion right now, and they just go that route and somehow, some way, it gets onto MJF in a match.
Just bury him on national television.
Bury him.
Bash at the beach it. There you go.
Or you do a finger poke of
Vince
doom.
Russo, you'll never see that piece of garbage in this ring again.
If they do decide to get rid of CM Punk at some point, and it's because of this stuff, the crowd that's there, I think, is going to be booing them out of the building because they don't know what's going on. Most of them don't know what's going on, and I feel like they should, release a statement first. Release a statement. I don't think they should do it live.
If you're going to get away with it in any wrestling company, AEW is the one to get away with it in now. Most of AEW fans are smart fans. Like WWE's fan base is more along your lines, Kira, where they whatever that's put on TV is
not experienced.
Well, not experienced. They just take wrestling for what it is, what they see on television. Where AEW was built on the dirt sheets, AEW was built on the indie scene, AEW was built on that background. And I think if you can get away with it any company, it would be AEW.
Tribal Chief says if Adam Page didn't want advice from Punk, there's no way would he want to go to WWE, where they'll stick him on NXT first. And that may be a good point. All right, Chris Williams is asking this question. It was asked to me, or maybe it was asked to other Tonys, but I want all of us to answer this question. If you were in charge, what would you do? I want Blackwell to go last because his answer's going to be the longest and the combo and the most, So, Kira, what would you do? I say you.
I already said my answer to this.
We're asking the question again. Play along. Kayfabe it.
I honestly don't know what I do. I think for all the parties involved that made it public, I feel like should get fined, some kind of punishment, suspended, so they're not on TV. Because I feel like when they get on TV, they're like getting like a reward. So like an unpaid suspension.
Unpaid suspension, very good.
And come back in like a month.
30 days? Yeah,
because for them to make it public, for them to make their personal stuff public is very unprofessional. And I'm trying to run a tight ship here in AEW, you know what I'm trying to say? So I don't want anybody to I don't want anybody to think less of the company because of how I'm running it.
Let me tell you what's so funny is that when you look at yourself in the camera, it's in reverse. So when he came out, I was looking here and he wasn't there. I saw him, I was like,
Mikey, how would you handle this?
So Mikey, CM Punk was on, he was cursing, he was yelling, he was being unprofessional. What would you do? What would you do? What would you do?
I'll punch him.
You punch him? Well,
he went with the elite route.
Yeah.
Start the whole thing. All right, nice. Thanks, buddy. So great. Richie, you go on this one.
Well, I pretty much said earlier what I would do if I was Tony Khan. So if I was in charge, I would have already had none of this would have came out to light like this. All this would have not been happening. We would have dealt with this in the back. And if you didn't agree or accept how I'm running my business, the door is right there because not one man in my locker room is going to be bigger than the entire company. This was not happening before CM Punk. Yeah, there was little rifts here and there, but all this turmoil did not start until CM Punk arrived in AEW. So now your cancer, your problem, your non-gravitas person is going to be CM Punk. And get this spoiled milk from Chicago out of my locker room, send him to that bakery where he got those cakes, and he can go have a snack anytime he wants, and he could work there if he wants, because damn sure he wouldn't be in my company. And if anybody else didn't like it, oh hell, who cares? It's my business, and if you're not going to respect me as the owner, get the hell out. I don't care if your name is CM Punk, John Cena, Dwayne Johnson, whoever you are. Get the hell out if you're not going to follow the rules of the business, and you're not bringing my company down with your bullshit and your nonsense. That's it. That's my take.
Kudos to you. Graves?
All right. So with this situation, all right, if we cannot make this an angle, for me, I would suspend Omega and the Bucks, and I don't know whether or not I'd remove their positions, but the one thing I would do was get rid of Punk. If we can make this an angle of some sorts, or even if Punk cannot work out his differences with Omega and the Elite and what's been going on, what I would do is have Punk do the honors to MJF, drop the belt, and he's gone. And that's it. Have CM Punk work the storyline that they agreed to do with this whole MJF thing. At least give MJF his moment here to have the title. And then after that, CM Punk, if he is the cancer to AEW, if this is why all this turmoil is going on, then he should be gone. If you're unable to do business and to better the company, then you can't be there. You cannot work there. If you're only there to better yourself in this predicament, then you should be gone. No matter like how he said with Cena, Punk, whoever, you cannot just, even the people that have buried a lot of guys know that like you're only as good as the other person makes you. You know, CM Punk, I love CM Punk, and don't get me wrong, CM Punk is a big name for AEW, but I'll tell you what, CM Punk could be the driving force of how AEW goes down if this continues.
Thank you, Graves. Mr. Blackwell.
I think the Elite lose their EV statuses. I think they have to lose that, because I think a lot of them possibly leaking and then going to a guy's door and kicking it in. I think they engaged to fight just as much as it was their fault for getting hit in the face with a chair. So I think they lose their EV pass status. I think everybody involved definitely gets major suspensions and fines. And you know, I would say that it'd be the easiest knee-jerk reaction to say Steele gets fired. But after hearing that, where they had the door locked and they kicked it in and his family was in there, I can't really say I'm mad at Steele for doing what he did. So I don't know. I think suspensions and fines happen, and if people can't get along, they move on. But I also think they put stipulations involved in the contract. I think there's stipulations in the locker room where it's like, hey, going forward, this happens. Going forward, that like we're done. Your contract can be terminated at any time, and we'll move on. We can't have this shit no more.
Very simple. They might have.
And if I'm Tony Khan, I'm putting more people in place that can help me with my checks and balances, so not everything falls in my lap.
And you're right. Very simple for me. I'm pretty sure there were problems before Punk came, but they weren't to this level. They weren't to this severity. Hashtag fire CM Punk. End of story. I don't care about the EVP status, the suspensions. Hashtag fire CM Punk.
I just want CM Punk to finish the storyline with MJF first, and then he can go away.
Yeah, that's how.
But I don't even believe that he'll do business the right way. I don't believe it. I believe that he'll pull his show and be like, oh, now I'm hurt. I don't believe it. It's time to just get rid of him. And what we do is we build somebody else up to get heat with MJF and get MJF to tell that way. Hashtag fire CM Punk.
And if he was injured in that match, like it's being reported that he got injured in the match with Moxley.
Well, I would say he was fired. I would say he's injured during a match, just so it's not a workplace violence injury.
Yeah, that's true too. But if it happened to be legit, then we got to realize that CM Punk is not durable whatsoever.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the lawsuit he would have that he tried to sue over a staph infection with WB? Imagine if he's trying to. I was in my locker room and 2 guys kicked the door down and I got essentially assaulted by 2 guys and tore my pec. This isn't safe.
Oh, well, we have even gone that route, and wow, you're right.
That's a lawsuit in itself.
Wow. Wait a minute. Let's rewind for a second. Hold up.
That's why I said, man, there's more involved in this. People got hit with chairs. That's assault with a deadly weapon.
If that's true that he was in the lock, let me. If he was in this locker room minding his business, well, he talked shit, but he still was in his locker room. He never assaulted anybody. He never approached.
You can say whatever you want. If I say everything horrible about you, even if it's cancelable or not, and I attack your race, your religion, your orientation, all that, that doesn't give you the right to physically assault me.
That is true.
By street justice, yeah, you get your face punched in, but the second you make it physical, you go to that. You broke the law.
I might have to take back what I said this whole show, because it didn't occur to me that he was in the locker room and they kicked the door in. If that's true,
according to the Steel and Punk side of the story, is they were behind a closed door and they entered.
Wow!
Like they kicked the door in.
Wait a minute. So now we have a serious situation now, because if that guy was in his locker room and they kicked the door in and approached him, it's self-defense, number one. Number two, that's an assault. And if Eddie Kingston got 2 weeks for a pie face, these guys attacked him. And now, like you said, he tore his pec because of it. And now he can't wrestle, which means he can't work and make more money. Yeah, we got a lawsuit in our hands, and maybe Tony Khan now has to be like, damn, I've got to kiss Punk's ass right now. Because I can't, this is going to bring the company down. This could bring the company down. Because who do you sue? You sue the owner. You sue the company. You sue AEW.
He sued over a staph infection.
Well, the plot thickens. Wow.
That's what I'm saying. If I go to your locker room and I'm at a wrestling show and I'm back minding myself and I get assaulted at your show, yeah. And the cops, like, that's why the whole thing said no cops were called, no cops were involved yet. That's how they like. That's all the hidden things that they hide in that article. No police were involved yet because that could be a huge thing. But there's a lot more to unravel with this, and that's why it's not been out there yet.
Yeah.
Well, Hiraguchi and Yumiko Connected Universe have a point. Who's telling the truth?
Very true.
We're gonna stay on top of this.
Again, like I said, there was none of this drama before CM Punk got to AEW.
Well, that's facts.
That's the core. That's the core. And another big piece is Tony Khan. Yes, and I believe Eddie Kingston was right about Punk all along. Triple H was right about Punk all along.
Nobody wants you here.
Nobody wants you here. And I'll say the things that people are afraid to say to you because he knows CM Punk is not going to go after him like he did Adam Page and say, oh, this guy is talking about Colt Cabana and me, and we're going to be enemies and this and that. Please, man, please. It's all an act. It's all to get what he wants because he doesn't like Hangman and his position, and he's jealous because it's not him that was a pillar of this company that started being successful. And he figured, hey, let me come back and make it about me. And if they don't want to give me what I want, I'll do whatever I can to make sure this company doesn't last.
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
The occasional wrestling pro journalist, Evil Uno, can confirm that the heat between Serpentico and Nyla Rose is 100% real. So Evil Uno putting some saying that's literally what Evil Uno just tweeted.
Guys, we're gonna be going live on a new stream about this. Don't forget night 2 of the Eyewitness News watch along tonight, guys.
Bro, I was like this. I was like, oh, let's go. Let's go. Jakey Bakey says Colt got buried in all this. This could be big news for him. He could use this to catapult his character. Next match.
Does he become the new Chaz?
I come out with my mom. I'd have my mom come out with me in my
That's
next
what I'm
match.
saying. Be the new Chaz. Wasn't what's the name from the Head Shrink, the Headbangers? Chaz, and he's out with his mom.
God.
And he had the pee underwear.
Cabana's mom in a shark cage over the ring.
Cabana's mom drops him off of the ring like the best friends used to in their mom's van.
Good work. Punk should just go home to cook wrestling. He should just go home and watch wrestling. He'd probably scream at the TV. Yeah, he's bitter. He's bitter.
Bret Hart 2.0. He lived up to be his legend.
So to flip it, if it is a work, then we're a bit sideways in public relation ways. Do we have to change direction with it?
It's not a work. I would not make a work at an angle this personal and really throw a chair at somebody.
Yeah, what are we, Allen Iverson?
Yeah, if anything, if it was a work, this would all be filmed. Be on the internet.
Oh, somebody's camera phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts.
There was a wrestling promotion in Jersey over the weekend where the guy booking the show tried to hide from all the talent because he didn't have money to pay anybody. And a bunch of people like cornered him. Yeah, it's nuts.
He should still be fired because the rant incited it. Not saying if it's true, they should have kicked his door, but many couldn't instigate. Yeah, he did instigate. That's true too.
Yeah, but the only reason he went on a rant is because he was defending himself from people spreading stuff to the journalist. Listen, I think Punk's a dick, but I don't think Punk goes out of his way to say that stuff in the rant if he doesn't feel like he has to speak up for himself.
I think KO should come to AEW and stun everybody.
You know what? For when I'm honestly, as a giant Kevin Owens fan, I was really, really, really disappointed when he re-signed to WWE, and I was so angry. And I was like, "This is bullshit." He would have had a much better career in AEW, and God, I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah.
God, I'm glad he didn't.
Wrestled Steve Austin at WrestleMania. I guess.
Did everybody? Did anybody watch Braun Strowman derail off the train?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I never heard of him in my life.
You know, guys,
The choo-choo train.
Kevin Owens did main event WrestleMania. Night one?
With Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wow.
Just something CM Punk never did.
Wow.
How do you think CM Punk feels after that? After on the indie scene talking so much shit
They ended Monday Night Raw with a bit. Or they ended SmackDown with a bit. I'm not SmackDown. WrestleMania. They essentially ended WrestleMania with a Piper's Pit, or like a segment, like a talk show segment that turned into a match.
Yep.
And it was great.
It worked.
I'm still here.
Okay, Mick.
Which Anthony? Me, Tony, me? You sent me something? Hope it's something nice.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm transferring hand sanitizer from one jar to another.
Hold on. Syndro sent me something. I trust her.
Oh, shots fired.
I do. Yeah. Anthony, did you report this as well?
What's that?
That AEW talent has not been told anything official. Almost blah blah blah. CM Punk will have to go or make major amends.
Yeah, he'll have to make major amends if he wants to come back. He has to win back the locker room. Essentially, the locker room outside the elite does not want him there.
But the heat on Punk is said to be unreal.
Nuclear.
Could you imagine if they just say, you know what, guys? We're not showing up to Dynamite. None of us.
They'd be a giant, huge breach of contract.
You gonna sue all of them?
Yeah, that's what you do in a business.
Company's over. They could say they could
sue them all for damages and losses.
They could argue because if they say we're not showing up, they could argue it's unsafe work conditions. They have Punk's here, it's unsafe.
Orange Cassidy will be there, and Dante Martin, and they'll have a show.
It would be funny if they did a bit where the entire locker room walked out and Orange Cassidy just sitting there like, where's everybody?
His hands in his pockets.
They're all picketing, and he just has it tucked into like his armpit.
They might turn Aubrey Edwards into a wrestler now.
I can't wait for the video games backstage brawl segment.
That's another thing.
He's got a chair.
We haven't discussed that. If CM Punk leaves, what happens to the game? Like, would they still keep Punk in? Because Punk's on the cover.
Cody Rhodes is in the video game.
Punk's on the well. Did Cody leave with a lot of bad blood though?
No, but Cody Rhodes left in plenty of time that they can't. They were talking about not putting FTR in the game, and they put people in the game who were there before, that way after FTR.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it just looks weird. Like, imagine if
video game is big money.
If
That's
this
big money
guy,
if you're in a video
this
game.
guy like legit is like gone from the company or has this much heat, he's still on the cover of the game.
The game looks like No Mercy on that 64.
I can't wait.
You know what's funny about that game too? Actually, is they actually use some of the animations from the WWE series too.
Yeah, from the SmackDown vs. Raw and stuff.
No, from 2K.
WWE versus AEW would never happen. How about this comment?
Makes sense.
Danhausen.
You put a curse.
MJF and Moxley and Friends in the cover game now. Prospect. All right, guys, look. This was a great get together. This goes to show you that something good could turn into something bad.
If my wife didn't have COVID, I wouldn't have been here because I would have recorded my show.
Everything for a reason.
Yeah,
that's true. Punk did say he wore Danhausen's shoes.
He did.
They were a size 10, and Punk said he's a 12, and they magically fit.
Punk wishes he's a 12. He wishes he was a 12. Get out of here.
That's the problem. He wears shoes that are too big for him. If he fits into a 10, guess what, CM Punk? You're not a size 12. Idiot.
He had all that extra room moving his foot around. He hit the damn rail.
It's like you go to the shoe store and they're like, I'm normally a 13. They're like, bro, you're a 9.5. Bro, I'm a 13. They're like, you have this much room. I'm a 13, bro.
Give me 5 pair of socks.
Big feet, big meat. Like, whatever, dude. You're a 13. I don't care. Leave my store.
You know what my take is with Cody too. That's going Cody, but I think Cody started to see how Tony Khan was operating, and he realized like this dude is not firm for a boss position. I gotta get out of here because I'm gonna be in a big headache, and it's gonna be retarded. Then again,
Anthony's not so.
I know. Here we go.
Hey, just for the record, Anthony is not the all be all of everything. That's his opinion. I think Cody left because he knew the money was bigger in WWE.
The money was bigger, and he was upset that he couldn't be a world champion, but he booked himself to be that way. I don't know.
Hangman would be a jobber to the big boss Superstar 91. He's a bum. He's a bum. Wow.
Who's it from the man from Cobb County?
Mastodon's a dumb name.
I have never cared less about NXT. LOL. Wow. Funny. Yeah, we're not watching NXT. But look, if you guys just got here, it's too bad because it's about to be over. But this whole show started because I'm a dummy. And I posted this thinking like I was going to get the jump on everybody. I'm going to get the scoop.
No. Sorry. You're not a dummy. I'm saying this. You're not a dummy. And I'm saying this. You're not a dummy. But people who are friends of the channel should have more reliable sources than believing an email with somebody's name on it that is not credible, whoever the hell it is, pistol, magnum, double 22, I don't care. You should
Oh
check your
man,
source.
check the
You
chat.
check
Another
your,
press release came in.
check your sources.
Put that up right now.
Put it up, Tone. I can't see it because I'm on the phone. I can't go into it.
Oh my God, I'll read it. Put it up. No one look at it. Let Tony do it.
Wait, I'm coming. Hold on.
Oh my God, this is huge.
Is this a joke, Anthony? Or
No, it's dead serious. Official AEW news, everybody.
Where'd you put it under? Where'd you put it under?
I put it in our group chat.
It's in the group chat on Messenger, bro. It's on Messenger.
I know, but I don't see
Hurry
the group
up.
chat.
Someone's gonna leak it before us.
Bro. It's the lightning bolt thing.
Oh my God. Oh, someone's gonna get it before we do.
Read it, Ant. Read it.
All right. No, I want the visual up there too. I want the visual up there too.
As he gets it, he'll put it up. Read it, brother.
My name.
Hurry up. I'll read it from my screen once you pull it up.
This is official news too.
It's official news. It says, I quote, "We are no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment is what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. I gotta make you understand. I'm never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna run away.
Run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry.
Never gonna say goodbye.
Never gonna tell a lie
and hurt you. In other words, we've been trolled.
So the report is, I'm not putting anyone's name under the bus, but the report is that we got this message, and it said, Jakey Bakey says goodbye. No, the report is we got this because this email was sent out to talent who have worked AEW Dark. That doesn't make sense to me. If they're not telling anything right now, they're not putting any information out because they're figuring things out, why would they put people who have worked AEW Dark on a mass email and send out that Adam Page left the company? It makes no sense. Just be careful. Be careful what we report. That's all I can ask.
And always remember, this one thing real quick, Tony. Always remember, everybody who says they're your friend is not your friend. And sometimes people troll just to get a reaction, and we understand. Just look out who you hang out with and where they're getting their sources from. All right? That's all I'm going to say.
Look, I'm going to say this. And people said, I believe you, Tony, LOL. And I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm really not. Because like I said, it's the onus is on me. And I'm seriously not mad at the person who sent it to me. And Stevie Chambers says, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Anyway, like I was saying, I'm not mad because I go to bed at night and I wake up at 2 a.m. and I go to look at the numbers to see how many viewers watch the show. And then I go right to the dashboard to say, oh, how many more subscribers? I'm waiting to see, I'm like, this is where we're at right now. I'm obsessed with these numbers. So, I mean, we're moving, as you can see. But it's my fault because I should have checked. So it's nobody else's fault. And I don't think the person did it out of malice.
No, not at all.
But we got to be more responsible because this channel has my freaking name on it. It has my face on it.
Well, real quick, you have a lot of people who send you information who are they're trying to help you by helping you get that out there. Yes. So it's not just this one person doing this. There's a lot of people who help out this channel.
Oh my God, I get stuff all day long.
But what we're trying to tell people who are willing to do that is just for how much we've grown. If you put out false information, it can take it all away as well.
Could take away subscribers. They could, I'm not watching this guy. I already lost a guy. I lost a guy I respected very much over a mistake I made with his shirt. His shirt didn't get to him in time. I don't know what happened. I didn't follow up on it.
We miss you, Mick.
Not Mick. He has his. He wants another one. But no, I lost a subscriber and I lost 20 extra bucks because I felt so bad that the guy sent me $40. I threw 20 in extra because I'm not that dude. And I lost that one subscriber. He could have been the one guy that knew 400 million people. Who knows? So it's very important. We got to be responsible with this stuff you send me. What's my fault?
Brock Lesnar died.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
All right.
I do have a closing bit of news for my personal thing, if you don't mind.
Go. Yes. Close.
I'll read my press statement. First off, before I read this, I just want to say I want to thank everybody in this chat who has carried over and support me on my side of things with the podcast. It does truly mean a lot. For how much Tony talks about how much it means, how much you mean to him, I only experienced it for a short time. My channel grew. It really, really did. But it was essentially the reason it grew is because of you guys. The rest of my audience kind of checked out for whatever reason it may be. But I essentially said it comes with a lot of emotion and a heavy heart to say at the end of October, I'll be ending the IWEP network and all the shows I run on them. Interviews with everyday people, Tornado Tag, Bang and Beers podcast, Not Cool in High School podcast, and Truth Behind Illusion. It's been an awesome 4 years, but I've set some personal goals for myself at the start of the year to try to and told myself if I can't hit them, it was time to hang them up. The time, effort, and money it takes to run the podcast network is a lot, and 5 is insane. The numbers are just not there, and I can't see a world where I keep dumping resources and effort in as a team as a result for the results that have returned. We'd love to thank everyone for the support that have been received, and if you took a moment at any point to watch, listen, or engage, we thank you. For me personally, Anthony, I would like to thank everyone who has gone with me on this journey and the past and present on this. It's not easy to deal with the extreme. It's not easy to deal with me because I'm very extremely driven, and I ask for a lot when it comes to this work. Thank you for trying to help me chase this dream and make this a thing. We came up short, and I've created tons of amazing memories and connections and friendships along the way. Everyone who has been a part of the network, please continue to support their channels. Poolbox Pals, welcome back. Are you strolling me right now?
Look at the comment. Good luck.
I mean, I'll stop if you want me to.
No.
Go.
Yeah. Pullbox Paws, welcome back. Stay tuned to Body Slams podcast. This isn't the end for me as a content creator. I still have more on this journey, but I will walk alone on that journey to go forward. I still have some times to plan and figure things out. But once again, thank you all. Appreciate it. Like I said, it's not done for me. I'll still be a part of this channel and helping out. I love you guys for having this, but I unfortunately will not be doing my bit when it comes to my network and what I'm doing on my end. And it sucks, but it has to be done.
Whoa, GM Strong, $2 super chat.
Wait,
no one's perfect on the comment.
Right on, but go put on your salmon jacket, bro, because the market friendly is coming. But you missed. Did you see what I put up? I said, good luck on your future.
Well, I do have future endeavors, and I just want to say, 'cause realistically, a lot of what my support was coming for towards the end there was 100% this channel, and it was, dude. I know my numbers. My numbers weren't there, and they're still not there at all. But the little bump I had was because of this channel. So I appreciate you guys. I do have a lot of things planned in the future. Unfortunately, to ask people to take times out of their lives every day and every week to come to my house and drive over here and do everything that we do on this network is not easy. So yeah, we'll be ending it at the end of next month.
Listen,
4 years and we're ending it.
And you say it helped your numbers. We know that. But you also, and I just want to say this, seeing everything, being part of the channel, you have helped this channel a lot, Anthony. You. And I'm being honest here. No nonsense, bro. Your takes are great. Your knowledge is great. You're a great person, human being. Sometimes, you are the a-hole sometimes here, and we know that. And, but you're great, bro. You don't come off with the disrespect. Your takes, like I said, are awesome, and you definitely have helped bump up the numbers on the channel, bring a new demographic, a new audience here.
You brought the white folks.
We what?
I brought white people to the channel.
He brought the white folks to the channel.
Yeah.
As soon as Anthony came, then Graves joined. See that? Yeah. Can't have these minorities.
Jury's still out on Graves. I think there's a little mix there.
Can't have these minorities controlling the show. We have to
Graves, are you mixed?
No.
You're white?
Yeah.
He's
it's just the lighting.
You can get away with it. You can get away with that curly hair.
That's a light-skinned Dominican.
That's what I'm saying. You're like Patrick Mahomes.
Yo, but Anthony, like he said, we love you, bro. But let's take care of the super chats. We got a lot of super chats today. So, guys, we're gonna throw a couple videos for you guys, and I hope you enjoy. This is with Mikey's face. It's creepy, but you gotta love it. We'll do 2 back to back. Boy, oh boy. Ding ding.
That was a great that was a great video there, guys.
Yeah, you fool. Listen, I can't lie. When Scarface grabs for Elvira on Mikey's face is the best. That was the first one. Here's the second one.
His head looks so weird when he's on the rock.
Yo, he looks like a test tube baby. What's crazy too is this. He looks like he didn't cook enough as The Rock, but as soon as he's Tom Cruise, my God, he's so cute. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, listen. You know what? We're gonna give you one more super chat, a regular one. Let's creep Anthony out because Anthony loves me. Let's creep Anthony out. Where is it?
Do the creepy dance one.
I'm trying to find it.
Don't forget, guys. Don't forget, ladies in the chat room.
Got him.
Got him.
The OnlyFans is coming. If you want to see the tantalizing one, baby oiled up and not going into the ring, but heading into the bedroom with a nice cherry colored thong, check out the OnlyFans. We will have the information soon coming up.
Patreon is coming, and it will be great.
Patreon is coming, and the t-shirts are coming to the. My God.
Man.
Listen, guys, it was a great show. Graves, Blackwell, Triple R. Last words, please. Let's get out of here, man. Graves,
your ass, Tony. Shake your ass.
Thanks for having me on as always. It's always great being on the stream with all you guys, and obviously the chat, man, just killed it tonight. Always, we always got a great chat on here with all the fans we have on the channel. So yeah, stay tuned for Anthony Blackwell's podcast. Keep in touch with Tantalizing Tony stuff as well, and stay tuned for my stuff as well. More content on the way.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, but Steven Chambers, it's a record. Ricky's internet working. Hey, can we get an AOL sound, please?
Wait, where is it? Oh, well, I don't even know where it is in that damn. Oh my God, there's so many messages. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Ricky did stay on all night. That's crazy. Blackwell, go, bro.
All I got is I do have a new channel. I didn't send it to Tony yet, but if you guys want to follow me on all social media, just search my name, Anthony Blackwell Jr. And I do have, if you go on my Instagram, I do have a link tree, and that link tree does have a brand new YouTube channel. There's really nothing there yet, but if you want to follow along, that's probably the place to be.
And you know what? Richie keeping his internet, it deserves a little video.
Thanks for the super chat, baby. Ding ding.
Ding ding for Richie's internet. Awesome. Is that the kid? Kira, is that you? Yes, not. All right. For Kira, for Graves, Anthony Graves, for Ravishing Ricky, for Anthony Blackwell Jr., I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. If you're watching NXT, that's your problem. Enjoy yourself, which is what I just get. Yeah,
Don't worry about that right now. That's for later. You don't have to do it right now.
Oh, got you. Enjoy. No, I'll do it right now. Enjoy yourself, because why not? All right, look. Anthony now has 6 subscribers on his channel, right?
They're all 6 of my shows. There's 5. He's the 6th. It was my 5 shows, and then Tony's the 6th.
So look,
Tony's my first legit subscriber.
Yeah, number 1. Everybody go to Anthony Blackwell Jr. Here it is right here. Very simple. Look at just typing in Anthony Blackwell Jr.
You might want to put the link in because I doubt because I have such little presence it might not show up.
Well, they better.
Where's Graves? I can't see him.
Oh my bad. Thank you. I always forget.
His internet connection. His internet connection got him.
Really?
No, you were hidden him behind.
I was about to say.
I haven't passed the torch yet. So.
This is hard, guys. This is tough to put up there, but this is a lot. But yeah,
if I hit 100 subscribers, I can actually make a legit URL. But that's a ways away. Took me 4 years to hit 200 subscribers.
You didn't let anybody down, Alex. Don't worry about it. I tell you that. Okay.
We didn't even say who it was, Alex. We don't know what you're talking about.
Now he he didn't let anybody down. Don't worry about it. Anthony Blackwell Jr. guys, just check it out. Let's get him up there with some subs. And we're gonna put his link in this is a big link, but we'll put it in my chat, in my description, everything. Jakey Bakey just subscribed. All right, Jakey Bakey, there you go.
You guys are killing it. Appreciate it. I'm actually adding your channel to the list.
You're at 8, bro. Let's go.
Ooh, almost double digits.
Can we get Anthony to 15 at least?
Gonna have me. Hold on, I'm gonna go. Hold on 1 second.
And let's subscribe to
Anthony.
What is
it? I see it right here.
I'll go to it too right now.
I'm subscribing live on that.
Let's get him some numbers, man.
My brother.
You got any videos we can like?
Nothing yet.
Put something up we can like.
I do have some plans for the future. I'm working on getting some new equipment. There's some equipment I want to do because when I start this, I want to start it in a certain fashion. I promise you, when it comes to the podcast side of things, actually, do I quick tell you my blueprint without telling you everything?
Go, bro. We're good.
So essentially, what I want to do is I want to make this a full content creating channel. I want to do movie reviews, everything that I did on the network. I essentially want to continue on to here. So if you like paranormal, I'll still look for guests to do paranormal stuff. Pop culture, I'm still going to be doing comic books, video games, movies, the whole 9. Beer reviews, I still plan on interviewing things with the beer culture. I'm still involved in the wrestling community, so I'll be doing interviews with wrestling talent and talking wrestling. But it's essentially going to be under one banner. And then that network, that the content creating I'll be making will be kind of similar to this, where we do like either live streams or just like 5-10 minute videos talking about something quick. And then there will be a podcast associated with this channel that will be completely something different. It will not be a live stream podcast. It'll be a podcast that will be filmed and then put up at a future date. But that podcast will be something like I feel that has not really been done to this extent before, and I'm really, really excited to do that. Where it's going to be, this podcast can pop up anywhere. It can pop up in the woods, on a porch, in a mall, on the sidewalk, in a studio. You never know, and I think that's what's going to be really fun about it. That's pretty much all I can really give, but this channel is going to be a one-stop shop for my stuff as well as putting other people over.
Whatever you do not interview my ex-wives.
They're on the list, actually.
Wow. Yeah. Double digits, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you. Seriously.
Here we go. So you guys subscribe to Anthony Blackwell Jr. I want to keep that moving. Greg, you coming Friday for SmackDown?
Yeah, I'll be here. And
tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, Dynamite. Yeah, I'll be here for Dynamite as well.
Oh, look at it.
Look at this guy. What? Let's go. Okay.
Real quick, I just wanted to say as well, if other people, if you guys are still looking for more wrestling content, I do a podcast on my YouTube channel as well. Right now, we're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays
The
up
link.
there as well. You don't have the link? I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I need your link as well.
I'll put it in the private chat right now for you.
Can I put this? I gotta promote this crap. Let's go. Come on. Before I'll put that up. Once again, I'm not the best at this. I'm not the best host. I'm not the best guy when it comes to creating content. I just click that live button. I let these guys do the work. I let Kira produce the show, and we just talk until the wheels fall off. Once again, I apologize for putting up fake news. Me and Donald Trump in the same boat.
And Jenny, I know you're listening. I'm not stopping cursing, so I could.
Tony, I just sent it to you in the private chat.
Send it in the group chat too, please.
Oh, I got you. All right.
But yes, thank you guys. So seriously, you're the greatest. You guys are all the best. All the support's amazing.
You're at 13, brother. You're at 13 now.
Just leave at 13. 13 is 13. If we can't get it to 666, then 13 is where I want to be.
What? Okay, here you go. Here we go. We got Graves right here. All right, there we go.
The Anthony Graves pod.
So it's the Anthony Graves pod.
Yeah.
There we go.
We got a couple interviews on there. Nico Narciso and Joe Dombrowski on there as well.
Good.
Yeah, Dombrowski does. I think he does AAA and he does MLW. We got some podcasts here as well. I forgot to add the latest one to the playlist, but I'm gonna try to post a lot more.
Look at this sexy guy. Look at he's like, hey, look at
Also, I was listening to this kid early on the radio.
He's good.
Guy, Graves has a great voice, bro.
Nah,
I
he's
tell
good.
Thanks, man.
Gotta get that radio so I can listen on my terrible Android.
You know what he's gonna do? Let me tell you what's gonna happen, Richie. My channel's gonna do okay, and these two white guys are gonna take over and leave. They're gonna like, F this black guy. We're out of here. We don't want to be part of this guy. Who does he think he is? They're gonna leave.
We're gonna Elvis you. We're gonna steal your culture and make it big. You know.
You can't get that.
In other words, they're Elvis and I'm Little Richard.
Yeah. I'll go back to my channel quick. Check out what I just did for you. For you guys. Just hit back. Or unless you have the thing. Scroll down.
Hold on, let me zoom out a little bit.
Finn.
Refresh it. Why is it not showing?
I'll let you guys go.
Refresh it. What the hell?
Finn, the next time I should be live with a video should be Thursday, but there is a new podcast that I just posted today on the channel. You can follow. If the easiest way to see new stuff is through my Instagram. I post everything on Instagram too. So
you got two, Anthony. You got two.
Thank you.
Yeah,
guys.
the featured channel should be you guys. I moved them around. I fixed things, and
I will edit my YouTube tonight and add you guys on there for sure.
You probably got to check. He's probably got to refresh and all that stuff and everything. So, you know, but look, we'll get it. We'll have everything in the descriptions.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go to bed early for a change. I'm not gonna watch anything unless Trump's going to jail. Oh, sorry, we can't talk politics.
No politics.
But real question: did he need all? What's with all the empty envelopes? What's with all the empty folders?
Who?
Nobody. Nobody. We're getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much. Great show. Let's get the final numbers and we're out of here. Did we hit 400? Let's see. We did hit 400 and then some. 457. I'll take it. Great. This might hit 500 for the night. With 55 likes, and we got a thumbs down. It must be that GS Vlog guy. I hate that guy. I hate you. I hate you, GS Vlog. I freaking hate you. Whatever. Thank you so much, everybody. Adam Page still has a job. 4, Anthony Graves Jr.
Anthony Graves Jr.
Graves Jr. Not yet. Not Anthony Graves
Sorry.
Jr. yet, thankfully.
Sorry, Anthony Graves Jr. For Anthony Graves,
I don't think it could happen unless
For-
he wouldn't be Anthony Graves Jr., but somebody else
Right.
might. Yeah.
right? For Ravish and Ricky Ramone, and for a BJ.
ABJ.
A BJ. I'm Tantalizing Tony. I'm the host for Kira as well. Big Bucks Bobby, Mikey, everybody. Thank you so much.
What a great night. What a great night, everybody. Just everybody enjoy your night and hug your family members. And remember, you're not always promised tomorrow. And do what we do best, and that's talking to the microphone.
Stay tantalizing.
Stay tantalizing.
Come on, Graves. Bring it in, Graves. Bring it in,
Come on,
Graves.
Bring it in, man. Give us much.
Little kiss to the crowd.
Love you guys.
Stay tantalizing. Oscar, go back and watch the show. Subscribe. Stay tantalizing, everybody. We're out of here. Wow, what a night. Hey, Tom.